Doesn't get any better than this on a Saturday night in September in Milwaukee. They're tailgating, having a great time at Miller Park as the Brewers and Mets are set for Game 2. The Brewers trying to even up this series. Pitching matchup looks like this. Henry Mejia making his first start in 2 years to the day after missing last season because of Tommy John surgery. Against Sean Markham looking for his first win since coming off the DL. This is his 5th try. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan. Welcome to Brewers Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. We're set for Game 2 and want to get you updated on the wild card race. 6 teams still think they're in it, including your Milwaukee Brewers. But let's go to last night to get you up to date on what was happening in this race. Philly and Houston. Jimmy Rollins, his 42nd career leadoff home run. Cole Hamels did the rest. His 15th win, and the Phillies win 12-6. They are 16-5 since August 23rd. Then we move out west to St. Louis and Los Angeles Dodgers. Luis Cruz with a 3-run home run in the 6th inning. The Dodgers rallying from a 4-1 deficit to go on to win that game 8-5. They are within a game of the St. Louis Cardinals. They play again later on tonight. That was action last night to get you update. Today, we already have one game in the books. Pittsburgh and the Cubs. Andrew McCutchen, NL MVP candidate, going deep. This one in the 3rd inning, and Clint Barmes would also handle Cubs pitching with a home run. The Pirates hold off the Cubs in the 9th inning to win 7-6 and a 7-game losing streak, and now trail in the wild card race by only 2.5 games. And here is the updated slate as we get you set for the Brewers game tonight. Everyone's still chasing St. Louis for that 2nd spot, including the Brewers, 3.5 back because of last night's loss. So tonight it's time to get a little offensive. The Brewers ready to break out the lumber, which was in a slumber on Friday night. B.A. and Rocker set to take you the rest of the way. First pitch on the way, and so much more next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. A full day of college football. Now we're ready for some baseball. And how about some pennant race baseball as well? Ryan Braun getting ready for tonight's game. The Brewers have won 17 of 20 here at home. 17 of their last 20 after a loss last night. They're trying to get things back together against the New York Mets. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us tonight. It's a beautiful night for a baseball game. And now we'll see if the Brewers can start to fight their way back. This ball club has been swinging the bats exceptionally well. Didn't so much last night. They'll face Henry Mejia tonight. The offense is the reason that they're back in this position, though. Yeah, for the last 3.5 weeks, they've been one of the best teams in baseball. And a lot of things have to be going right, and they have. Starting pitching, bullpen, defense, but the offense has been second to none throughout this stretch. If they're not leading the league in one category, they're second behind the Nationals. So when you talk about offense, it's not just a couple of guys. It's not just Braun, Ramirez, Corey Hart's been out. Guys have been picking up the slack. Oki, Weeks has been swinging the bat. The young kids coming in, making starts. They've been chipping in and doing their part. So to have a stretch like the Brewers have been on offensively, everybody 1 through 8 in the lineup has to contribute, and that's what's been happening. Well, the Brewers will give the ball tonight to Sean Markham. He'll match up against Henry Mejia. The Brewers and the Mets. Milwaukee needs a win. They're 3.5 back in the wild card race. Got a lot of teams in front of them as well. Game 2 of 3 coming up next from Miller Park. And there is Sean Markham. He leads the Brewers out on the field here at Miller Park. Saturday night baseball here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Brewers, since August 20th, the best winning percentage in all of the National League, tied with the Oakland A's for the best winning percentage in all of baseball. And the Brewers hope to get back to winning ways tonight. Game 2 of this series against the New York Mets. Terry Collins manages the Mets, his second season in New York. Been a rough second half for Terry Collins. The Mets were down 4.5 at the All-Star break. They were right in the pennant race, but they've struggled in half number 2. And here's Terry Collins' Piggly Wiggly batting order tonight. He's got Ruben Tejada leading off, Daniel Murphy, then David Wright, Ike Davis, Lucas Duda, and Jordani Valdespin in the middle. Bottom of the order, Kelly Shoppach, his first start, Andres Torres, and Henry Mejia, hard-throwing right-hander on the mound. Sean Markham on the mound tonight, Rock. He makes his 18th start of the season. He's going after his 6th win of the season.
Yeah, hasn't won since June 8th against the Padres right here at Miller Park. He's 0-1 in 4 starts since returning from the DL, and that was on August 25th. Looking for a win here tonight.
So Markham is ready to go. Ruben Tejada leads off for New York. Now the Brewers find themselves 3.5 back in the wild card race. Starting play, 3 back in the loss column to the Cardinals as Markham misses inside, and away we go from Miller Park. You don't expect to win every game down the stretch, but the Brewers know they have to keep pace. They're going to have to win most of them. Milwaukee certainly has some traffic ahead of them as that sun reflects off the nice club right into the manager's eyes. You don't see a sun in the eyes of the home team here that often.
Yeah, not at 6 o'clock at night, that's for sure. But yeah, just the fact that we're talking about a wild card possibility is miraculous. The way the Brewers have been playing over the last 3.5 weeks, they've got some help. Teams at the top have been struggling a bit, and Ron Renick's got his troops right where he'd like them.
Now the Brewers are going to have to climb 4 teams now to achieve that second wild card spot. As Tejada sends Aoki to right, and he's there for the first out. That's how Sean Markham's night begins tonight. Here are the Brewers defensively behind Markham. Ryan Braun, Nigel Morgan, Nori Aoki in the outfield. On the corners, it's Aramis Ramirez and Taylor Green. Segura and Weeks up the middle with Lucroy doing the catching. And the Brewers defense brought to you by Menards. Home plate umpire tonight is the crew chief, Jerry Lane. Dan Bellino, Mike Easterbrook, and Larry Vanover on the bases. A spectacular night for baseball. It's just as good as it gets in the upper Midwest. A lot of tailgating going on before the game. A nice crowd filing in here.
We've been saying that for a while. Last couple of games in St. Louis were nice. Been very nice here in Milwaukee. 70 gorgeous degrees here at Miller Park.
And you see those temperatures going to be dropping down into the upper 50s tonight. That touch of fall is in the air. Big day of college football today. As Daniel Murphy sends one to left field, a base hit. And a man on for David Wright. Now the game we left to join the action here at Miller Park. Texas A&M and SMU, an old Southwest Conference rivalry. A&M a big 48-3, and that's how it ends here today in Dallas. So the Aggies win it. In case you were hanging on to those last few possessions, that's how it wound up.
Didn't seem like you needed to right there, huh?
Texas A&M now in the SEC. That seems hard to get your arms around. Here's David Wright. Got a runner at first and 1 out. Wright had a good night last night. He has not been hitting, but you wouldn't know it by his at-bats last night. He looked very comfortable at the plate. David Wright comes into play tonight, hitting .315. That's good enough for 5th in the league. Melky Cabrera is still the league leader. He's been in the middle of a 50-game suspension, however, violating the drug policy. Among active players, Andrew McCutchen tops the league. He's hitting .339. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Melky Cabrera. You wonder if the commissioner is going to void that season or not. That does make you think about it, though. He failed a drug test, and he already has enough at-bats to win a batting title, Melky Cabrera, the Giants outfielder.
That would be unprecedented.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting case study. Pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Lucroy. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
You figure you're going to have to be blocking pitches in the dirt with Markham out there. He's got to keep the ball down. Struggled doing that in the beginning of his last start against the Cardinals. Gave up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. And then was able to command his pitches better and finish nicely.
Markham is making his 5th start since returning from the disabled list. Went on the DL with an elbow strain. He was placed on the DL on the 23rd of June, but it was retroactive to the 15th of June. He made a start on the 14th of June against Kansas City, and he went 7 2/3 innings. He pitched well, gave up just 2 runs, and was supposed to miss 1 start. He ended up missing nearly 2 months of the season.
Well, he's had a tough time in coming back. Just hasn't really been the same guy. They're trying to find it. It's a big offseason for Sean Markham. He wants to prove to baseball that he's healthy, worthy of another contract. So he wants to finish strong.
Now, Markham had a rough September last year and a rough postseason. He vowed to keep himself strong the entire season this year. He got on a very disciplined off-season program. He actually pinned up the box score from his postseason start, which was not very good. He pinned that up in his weight room for extra motivation. He came into camp in great shape and was cruising right along this year until the tightness in the elbows started to flare up. 2+ months later, he was back on the mound as Wright takes a ball just a little bit low and in, and it's 2-2 on David Wright. So Markham went from June 14th to June 25th between major league starts. He did make 3 minor league starts, 3 rehab starts. But he has not been Markham-like since coming back.
And it's been interesting watching him too, because it's really hasn't been an issue for him to get ahead in the count. He's usually able to do that, 1-2, 0-2, but it's the put away pitches that have been tough for him. He ends up getting 1-2 and then ends up in a full count. Trying to make that perfect pitch, which he hasn't been able to find.
There's a swing and a miss. David Wright strikes out, and Markham with his first K for out number 2.
Now, and there is the perfect pitch on a 2-2 count. Fastball down and away, right on the outside corner at the knees.
Now, when Markham is on his A game, he has pinpoint command with everything he throws, and sometimes you feel like Jonathan Lucroy has to take off his glove to get to all of the signals for Sean Markham. It takes 2 hands to go through all of his pitches. And hoping tonight that Markham can get back in his 5th start since returning from the DL. Markham's a very good athlete. He holds runners well. He fields his position, can swing the bat. He does a lot of little things to help himself on the mound aside from pitching. He was a college shortstop at Missouri State.
Now, guys that rely on ground balls and really don't get a lot of strikeouts ordinarily, they need to hold runners close. Ground balls in the outfield to hold a guy close. He's not going to be able to get to third, maybe get a double play. It's those big power pitchers that rely on the strikeout that ordinarily don't worry too much about base runners.
Ike Davis, he's been the Mets' best home run hitter this year. 26 homers this season, 79 driven in. He has a powerful swing, Ike Davis. A flick of the wrist and he can hit one out of here. He hit one of the longest home runs that I've seen at the Mets' new ballpark, Citi Field. You remember the old apple that they had at Shea Stadium? Well, that is still in place in New York, and now it's on a little elevator. It comes up and down with home runs, but he hit one over that apple. About a 470-foot home run.
Yeah, that's a big ballpark. So when you look at 26 home runs for a guy like Ike Davis, that's impressive. Big power alleys. The ball doesn't carry all that well.
They did move the fences in at Citi Field, but it hasn't made that big of a difference. It's made a little bit of a difference, but where Davis hits them, usually they go out anywhere. There's a big swing, had him out in front. 2-2 on Ike Davis.
See, that's what we're talking about. Only 7 home runs at home. Wonder how many warning track shots he's hit there.
Well, these hitters will tell you it doesn't matter whether they're home or on the road, but I don't buy it. Jason Bay, I mean, he's not been the same since he signed the big contract with the Mets. David Wright admitted that it frustrated him the first year of Citi Field, that some deep fly balls that would be out in most parks ended up as outs.
And not that Shea Stadium, the old ballpark, was easy to hit him out too, but this new ballpark even tougher.
Full count, 2 outs. Murphy will take off, and Davis takes ball 4. And the Mets threaten early once again, just like they did last night.
Well, Markham got ahead in the count and ended up with a full count and got the walk. Kind of the situation that he had in his start against St. Louis. And when Markham's right, he gets outs early in counts. He's a guy that can get through a game with relative ease when he's on, not having to use too many pitches. It's not been the case.
Here is Lucas Duda, another big power hitter in this Mets lineup, and he showed some of that pop last night. Duda belted his 14th home run. He's had an up and down year this year, and I mean literally up and down, between the big leagues and AAA. Mets were counting on him to be a premier bat in the middle of their lineup. There's a strike. 1-1 to count. Last night, Lucas Duda, with Manny Parra on the mound, squared up a fastball and added to the Mets lead. At the time, it made it 5-2. Mets would score 2 more runs in that inning. And when it was all said and done, it was 7-2. The game ended 7-3 Mets. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Duda.
And that's what you need to do to Lucas Duda. You can't put yourself in a fastball count and give it to him. That's what Manny Parra did. That was a 3-1 fastball from Parra last night that he hit out. There's a good curveball.
The old curve drop sinker change ball. The 1-2. And that one's into right field. Aoki playing deep, can't get there. And this is going to bring in a run. So Markham gives up a first inning run. Aoki was unsure whether he wanted to charge that or not. He plays so deep in right field, and it might have cost the Brewers an out right there.
And when you play deep like that, I mean, you're almost forced to come in on just about everything. I mean, there's nothing going over the head of Aoki unless it gets out of the ballpark. Slider down and in. Duda able to wait back, and he hits it hard, but you can see Aoki, as deep as he was, still not able to get there.
So the Mets on the board first tonight, just like last night. Mets scored 2 in the first inning last night. And for a team that has not been hitting, they have certainly swung the bats well in this series so far. As Jordani Valdespin takes ball 1. Valdespin, an infielder by trade. He's been playing mostly in the outfield recently. Gets the call again in right field tonight. The Mets really don't have the outfield depth, so in most games, if they have the lead, you'll see a number of changes in their outfield. They'll typically put in a defender for Duda if they have a lead late. And last night, Valdespin was the one replaced on a double switch by Terry Collins. Little pop up. Segura's back, and he's got it. Inning over. Markham surrenders a run on 2 hits and a walk. Brewers coming up. Behind early once again. Mets scoring a run in the first. And let's see if the Brewers offense can get it back together tonight. Here's Renick's Piggly Wiggly batting order. A couple of changes in there tonight. Nori Aoki leads off. Ricky Weeks, then Ryan Braun. In the middle of the order, you've got Aramis Ramirez, Jonathan Lucroy, and Taylor Green. Green gets the start at first base tonight. Nigel Morgan with his first start. And it'll be Gene Segura and then Sean Markham. That'll be the starting nine against Henry Mejia. And Mejia looking for his first ever major league win and just his fourth career major league start.
Now, this is his first start in exactly 2 years. He missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. That came back in May. He came back and pitched in AA and AAA this year. 30 appearances, 14 of them starts. He's got an electric fastball, does Mejia.
Mejia was first in the big leagues as a relief pitcher back in the 2010 season before the elbow injury. As Aoki takes a ball. He has a blazing fastball, Mejia. He's been starting in the minor leagues. Terry Collins was saying his breaking stuff is just okay, but his fastball is a plus pitch, and he can sometimes exist only with a good fastball because it has so much run to it.
And not sure he's going to be able to get away with that in the big leagues, but he may be better suited as a relief pitcher. We'll see. Got a lot of movement, sometimes too much movement.
Couldn't have a greater contrast between starting pitchers tonight and Sean Markham and Henry Mejia. 2 balls and a strike on Aoki. And that one misses low. 3-1 the count. Nori checks in with a .286 batting average. Has 8 home runs. He's driven in 41. Three and 2. Here are the Mets defensively tonight. Duda, Torres, and Valdespin. Same outfield that we saw last night. Same infield as well with Wright, Tejada, Murphy, and Davis. The only change is behind the plate. Kelly Shoppett catching Mejia tonight. Veteran catcher. Bouncing ball to short. Tejada makes the play for out number 1. And if Mejia's right, you'll see a lot of ground balls just like that.
And that ball has a big tail at the end, and sometimes when he gets on top of it, it tails down and away to a lefty. Down and into a right-handed batter. Brewers have to try and have it get up in the strike zone, but not too much. I mean, it's kind of a tough situation with the Brewers hitters because he throws 95, 96. You don't want to swing it that up above the belt.
Yeah, with 1 out, it'll be Ricky Weeks now. He is a home run shy of a 20 home run season. Impressive when you consider where he came from this year after a brutal start to the year offensively. Weeks hit a home run off Tim Hudson earlier on this homestand. Got the Brewers jump started, part of a 3-game sweep of the Atlanta Braves. Brewers have won 3 out of 4 on this homestand. And you have to start getting greedy at this time of the year. The hole was sizable the Brewers put themselves in. Normally you'll be content with series wins, but I think the Brewers know they're going to have to go 5-1 on this homestand. You never know how the season plays out, but a lot of teams to climb over to make it to the postseason this year.
Yep, need a lot of help. You got to play well and get some help. But why not? You just keep playing, worry about your own house, and let the chips fall where they may. It's an old cliche, but that's the only thing they can do at this point.
Yeah, cliche because it's true.
Right.
It's been fun to watch this club. He could have easily turned it down and gotten ready for the offseason as Mejia sends one high and tight on Weeks. 3 balls and a strike. Yikes.
Yeah, a little bit too close for comfort when you're throwing up there at that velocity. That could do some damage. And Ricky able to get out of the way.
So he's got a hitter's count. And it's ball 4. So Mejia issues his first walk. That will send Ryan Braun to the plate with a man on. Now Braun continues to impress. He leads the league in home runs, has 38 home runs. Giancarlo Stanton is second in the league of the Marlins. He has 34. Braun just 2 RBIs behind Chase Headley for the RBI title. Second in that category. You find him in just about all the major offensive categories. His 313 total bases, well in front of his nearest challenger, Andrew McCutchen. Gives you an idea of the power numbers, the slugging numbers for Ryan Braun, achieving those total bases.
He gets better every year, doesn't he? It's hard to believe.
Braun set a franchise record earlier this season when he had 15 total bases in a game. Total bases, you get 4 for a home run, 3 for a triple, 2 for a double, 1 for a single. Braun into left center. That is going to get down all the way to the wall. The Speedy Weeks around third. He will try to score. He will score as Ryan Braun drives in a run to tie it. Number 101 for the reigning MVP.
Well, Mejia tried a rare breaking pitch to Braun that time, and Ryan Braun made him pay for it. A breaking pitch up, out over the plate, and Ryan able to hook it into the gap in left center. Hung right in there. It's a hard thing to do when you have a guy out there throwing that hard and almost hitting Ricky Weeks in the head. He stayed right in there and covered that outside corner.
That gives Braun 30 doubles to go along with his 38 home runs. Weeks scores all the way from first, and we're tied at 1 just like that. And now it's Aramis Ramirez with Braun at second base. Bouncing ball, backhanded by Tejada, long throw, and not in time. Aramis Ramirez legs one out, sniffing a base hit all the way down the line.
Ramirez thinking, when is first base going to get there? Sometimes when you're trying to beat out a ground ball like that, it seems like first base keeps getting further down the right field line, but he did beat it. Picking on the first pitch. Good play by Tejada. Good throw. And Ramirez able to beat it by a step.
You ever watch Alfred Hitchcock movies?
I do. I love them.
You know that hallway that would just expand in those Hitchcock movies? That's what it must have felt like for Ramirez.
Seems like first base is never going to get there.
But he did. Leg it out. An infield hit. And now first and second for Jonathan Lucroy. Terry Collins was saying earlier today that Mejia will only be out there for around 80-85 pitches. And it'll be a short start for him. They don't expect more than 4 or 5 innings out of him. And they are planning to shut him down shortly. Obviously, the season's coming to an end in just a couple of weeks. He may have 1, maybe 2 more starts, but they will be short pitch count outings for Mejia.
Well, if you wonder if the Mets are going to be short-handed, guess again. It's September. They have 11 pitchers in the bullpen. I think they'll be all right.
It's not as publicized as Steven Strasburg, but it's the same principle. Mejia, like Strasburg, had Tommy John surgery. He comes back. The Mets aren't in a pennant race, so it's not real news, but it's an innings cap that the Mets are trying to stick with for Mejia as he comes back from Tommy John surgery, which he had last May.
And not a big guy, but he throws pretty good. They have him listed as at 6 feet, 204 pounds. I kind of question his 6 feet.
I think he's sprouted up a little bit since he signed.
Right.
He's only 22. He signed as a 16-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. There's a strike on Lucroy. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. A run is in on Mejia, a walk and back-to-back hits. Ramirez with a massive lead at first base.
Well, you've got to trust your first base coach to let you know if the first base was going to sneak around you. Ramirez just trying to get as much as he can. Garth Orge won't let that happen.
Lucas Duda is covering as much of the hole as he can over there with Lucroy at the plate. A good opposite field hitter. But that comes into play a lot on double play balls. If it's not a bang bang play, you know, if it's like a slow roller and you're trying to get it out at second, Ramirez with 3 or 4 or 5 extra steps has a chance to beat it.
Yep, either that or break up the double play, not allow him to make a throw to first. Duda way back and way off the line. It's going to take him a while to get to first base.
1-2 on Lucroy. 2 on with 1 away. And Lucroy spoils 1 foul. Taylor Green due to hit next. Getting his first start here in this series. Ishikawa's been getting most of the playing time. And Lucroy right to Tejada, flips it for 1. The turn is in time. And a double play ends the inning. About the Brewers score on a Ryan Braun RBI double. Double number 30, RBI number 101. All tied at 1.
Markham set to work the second inning here at Miller Park, and I had a chance to talk to Ron Renicky about Sean Markham and what has been missing since he has returned from the disabled list. And he said one thing, his command. He said before he went on the disabled list, he was able to throw any pitch during any count, and that's the one thing that he hasn't been able to do so far in 4 starts after returning from the disabled list. So BA and Rock will see if Sean Markham can regain that command that we have seen over the year and a half he's been in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Brewers are going to need that, and Markham certainly is going to need that, not just for the team, but personally, as he tries to prove he is healthy going into his free agency. Kelly Shoppach starts it off for the Mets. Shoppach, Torres, and the pitcher Mejia. Mejia able to get out of the last inning with a double play ball. Brewers able to tie it, though. Braun drives in the run. Shoppach coming to the Mets from the Red Sox. And it's bounced around quite a bit in his big league career. Pretty good backup catcher.
Yeah, pretty good defensive catcher. I mean, he handles himself well back there, has a pretty good arm. And not a guy that's going to hit for an average a whole lot, but he's got some pop in his bat. Make a mistake, knock one out of here. He's got 3 home runs in 47 at bats.
Had a 21 homer season with the Indians a few years ago, back in 08. He takes a ball high. Chapek was originally signed by the Red Sox. He was a second rounder out of Baylor. And then went to Cleveland, was traded to Cleveland, and then they ended up back with the Red Sox this year after a couple of years with the Tampa Bay Rays. Bouncing ball. Segura knocks it down. Throws to first in time. What an arm that was.
Good thing the catcher was running down to first. That's a heck of a play by Segura. He has surprised a lot of people with his ability to play shortstop at this level. To think that he wasn't a shortstop by trade until about a year ago, somewhat of a surprise. I mean, you got to have a big arm like that to be able to make a play, and he does. Ball squirts away from him. Anything but a catcher running down the line, and not going to be able to get him.
He has impressive body control. This guy, when he's on the ground, he gets to his feet so fast. Scampered after that ball, made a great throw. What an arm, Segura. Can make up for a lot with a throwing arm like that. As Torres swings and misses, and quickly 0-2.
And not often you're going to be able to do that and still get a base runner. Combination of a very good arm and very agile, getting back on his feet, collecting the baseball and getting it off to first base quickly. And the catcher running.
It was all working in his favor.
Right.
Speaking of that Hitchcock hallway, right? Kelly Chapek never could get there.
I can relate.
And the harder you try, the slower you go.
Man.
1-2 pitch. And that hits Torres. So Torres is drilled. Markham got him on a 1-2 offering. And a base stealer is aboard with one away.
I'm not sure what it was, but not even close. Getting him right on the back. Right on the shoulder blade. Markham missing badly with that pitch.
Now Torres at first with the pitcher Mejia coming up. Likely up there to bunt. Not something he's done very often in his career. You might remember when he first came up, he was a reliever. And he does get a bunt down. It's a good one. Markham makes the play to first for the second out. Sacrifice bunt for Mejia. Advancing Torres.
Well, all fans attending the Brewers Mets game tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. will get an Aramis Ramirez bobblehead courtesy of Wild Impact Marketing. For tickets, call 902-4000 or visit Brewers.com. Nothing else going on. Packers not playing. Going to be nice out. Come on out to the ballpark.
Yeah, great tailgating weather. Great baseball weather tomorrow. The roof will be open. I would love to see a packed house tomorrow. Another great crowd tonight here in Milwaukee. Starting to sense a bit of this pennant race. Brewers need a win tonight for sure. They're trying to stay in it. 18 games remaining. Milwaukee comes in even 500, 72-72 in a 162 game schedule. The Pirates won today. Pittsburgh beat Chicago 7-6, so the Brewers have to win to keep pace with the Pirates. I think Renick's got it right. He first talked about making it back to 500 and then trying to catch the team in front of you. And right now the Phillies are in front of the Brewers, as are the Pirates. The Brewers will play Pittsburgh next week Got a 3-game series in Pittsburgh starting on Tuesday night.
And Pirates barely able to hold on in that game against the Cubs today. Had a comfortable lead, ended up very close at the end. Things have been difficult for the Pirates last 3 weeks.
Brewers are only 1 game back of the Pirates in the loss column. They'll make that game up part of a 4-game series with the Washington Nationals. That's really what you have to look at right now, the loss column. Even though Milwaukee is 3.5 back of the Cardinals for that second wild card spot, they are 3 back in the loss column to St. Louis, who lost yesterday to the Dodgers. So the Brewers didn't lose any ground with their loss. Line drive to right. Aoki right there. And the inning is over. Markham a scoreless second. Nice defensive play by Gene Segura on the slow moving catcher. All tied at 1. Sunday, the Vikings head to Indianapolis to take on Andrew Luck and the Colts. Coverage begins this week with the Built for Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at 11 a.m. Central. Brewers will be back in action tomorrow afternoon against the Mets. Final game of the series. Final matchup against New York this year. All tied at 1 as we go to the bottom of the second. Brewers are coming up against Henry Mejia. Taylor Green will lead off. Green was in the big leagues the last time the Brewers saw the Mets back in May, mid-May, when they went to New York. Was 1 for 3 in that series against the Mets. Green making his 21st start of the season in the big leagues. Mostly at first base. This is his 13th start at first base. Seen a little bit of him at third base. Had 1 game at second. And he was used as the DH in interleague play this year. Little bouncer over is Murphy. And he makes a play for the first out. Well, Mejia can bust the knuckles. He can saw off some bats, get a lot of ground ball outs.
And he can keep you loose in that batter's box, too. He's a guy that'll let one get away, just like he did with Ricky Weeks. Trying to open up that outside corner a little bit with a breaking pitch, but it appears that he really casts the breaking ball. He slows himself down a little bit. Doesn't have that same release point that he does with the fastball, and it looks as though the Brewers can pick it up fairly easily.
Now Braun took a breaking ball, ripped it into the gap in left center. Mejia wants to be a starter. Not that a 22-year-old gets to say what he wants to do, but he does not warm up well, according to Terry Collins. I talked to Terry today about Mejia. He loves his arm. They think he's a reliever. Jerry Manuel, when he managed the Mets, thought he was a potential closer and started to use him in the bullpen in 2010. But it's interesting. He doesn't get loose quickly. It takes him a while. So he does put the clamps on a manager when you're trying to get him loose. And the other part of that, knowing that it takes him a while, if you try to get him started early and then the pitcher that's in the game gets out of an inning, now you have to sit him back down.
Right.
So then you have to get him loose 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so that precludes him from being a good relief pitcher. But the problem is he's only got 2 pitches, and really the fastball is the only one that really jumps out at you. Still has a lot of work to do with his breaking pitches, but again, he's 22 years old.
And what you would normally see a guy going through in the minor leagues, working on his pitches, his finishing pitches, the Mets are so short-handed that they have promoted Mejia to try to learn at the major league level as Nyjer Morgan draws the walk. So this inning starting just like the last, with a ground out and a walk and a man on with 1 away for Gene Segura.
So one youngster facing another in this matchup. In 2010, Mejia made the opening day roster for the Mets at the age of 20. I mean, think about that, 20 years old.
And with an arm like that, who's always been a starter, it was a very unusual move to take an arm like that and put him in the bullpen. Very similar to what the Brewers did with Willie Peralta. You know, they kept him in the minor leagues to start. The Mets took a chance on him as a reliever. And there's a lot of skepticism when the elbow started to hurt, and eventually Mejia had to have the Tommy John surgery. Essentially saying, I'm not a reliever. I struggle in that role. My arm is maybe not. He didn't say all this, just by his actions, though. His arm was not prepared for it, and the next season had surgery.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Told you so.
Told you I'm a starter.
Yeah, 2 22-year-old Dominican natives matching up against each other here, Segura and Mejia. And a base hit. Segura right back up the middle. A walk and a single, and the Brewers with 2 on here in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, one fastball after another, and Segura able to get down, go down and get that one. Right down the middle, but down in the strike zone. 4-seamer, and he bangs it right back into center field. A nice approach by Gene Segura. I mean, that shot on the right there, that's about as good as it gets. That's a perfect swing by Segura, and rewarded with a base hit.
Well, we'll see what Markham does here, the Brewer pitcher who can handle the bat. Markham has a batting average coming in of .097, 3 for 31. Much better hitter than those numbers. Renicky asks him to bunt. It's a good one. And Mejia gives way to right. And the throw is in time. Sacrifice bunt. We'll put 2 in scoring position. The 2nd out on that sacrifice.
And well done by Markham, doing exactly what he had to do, bunt the ball toward third base. And he bunted toward third because look at Ike Davis, the first baseman. He's right on top of him. If he bunts it to the first baseman, they have a play at third base.
There's Morgan at third base. He walked. Segura out at second now after the single. And Aoki a chance to give the Brewers the lead. Aoki grounded out in his first at bat. First time he had seen this pitcher. And there's a strike. 1-1 on Norichika Aoki. 1 for 6 in this series. Has 6 hits on the homestand, though. He's 6 for 18 at the plate on this homestand with 3 runs batted in. And did he go? Nope. Able to check his swing. 2 balls and a strike.
And breaking pitch from Mejia. Could have gone either way right there.
That's a difference maker when you can change the count. Instead of 1-2, it's 2-1. A base hit to the outfield will score a pair. And Aoki takes ball 3. Mejia snatches that ball out of the air from Shopper. Pretty good bet when Mejia gets behind in a count, gets himself in a tough spot. He's going to go with his best pitch. He's going to go with a fastball.
Right.
It goes back to Rock's point about the breaking stuff just not being the plus variety at this point. So Aoki sits dead red here. The 3-1. And Mejia missed. Bases loaded. Second walk of the inning, 3rd walk of the game already for Mejia. And that's going to draw Dan Warthen, the Mets pitching coach, out of the dugout. A quick trip to the mound.
And sometimes when you have such good movement like Mejia, I mean, movement on the fastball, I mean, radical movement, very often it's very difficult to command it in the strike zone. And sometimes, you know, the catcher can help you in that regard, in that if he's missing down and away a lot, maybe you shift your target a little bit, maybe set up right down the middle, have him aim for the glove, and then it'll end up more on the corner. If you set up on the corner, it's missing away all the time, so a catcher sometimes can help you, make that adjustment.
Big spot for Ricky Weeks. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and a chance to do some big damage here. Weeks is a good low ball hitter. He took Tim Hudson deep earlier on this homestand on a sinker. And Weeks beats one into the ground. Tejada will go to second, and the Brewers let an opportunity go by. They strand the bases loaded. Mejia is out of the second. Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Beautiful Saturday night for baseball in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In our Cartoon.com email the booth question, as the addition of the second wild card led to an even more interesting postseason chase. Kurt and Racine?
No doubt.
I'm going to say so. Definitely.
No doubt. I mean, how many teams right now and cities are involved in what they think right now is a pennant race or an opportunity to get to the postseason? It's pretty much of a foregone conclusion in the National League at this point. It'd be pretty boring.
And I think it serves two purposes as well. The second wild card allows a wild card playoff game, a play-in game essentially, which means the division winners are a little more protected this year. I mean, it means more to win a division this year than it did last year. The two wild card teams will play it off. The winner of that game will play the best record in the National League, the best record among the division winners. So if you go through the National League schedule this year, if you're the Washington Nationals right now and you have the best record, you're going to play a team that is going to be a little bit taxed with their bullpen, with their starting pitching.
Yep, because you know they're going to throw everything into the game that they have to win to get into the playoffs, or that play-in game. Leave no holds barred, right?
Well, if there wasn't a second wild card spot this year, the Cardinals 6 games back, that would be the closest race. As Daniel Murphy singles to right, he continues to hit. Murphy had a hit last night. He has 2 tonight. And he's aboard to start the third inning with some of the big thumpers coming up for the Mets.
Number 5, the third baseman, David Wright.
Murphy singled and scored in the first inning. The Mets are on the board early tonight. The Brewers quickly answered on a Ryan Braun RBI double that scored Ricky Weeks. And that's where we sit, playing in the third. Here's David Wright. He struck out swinging his first time up. Markham struck him out on a fastball. Starts him with a breaking ball this time and misses.
Yeah, about the best fastballs that he's thrown tonight was to David Wright on a 2-2 count, right on the outside corner. That's the kind of command that we came to know with Sean Markham all last year.
A big swing and a miss. Ball and a strike. Got a little wrinkle to it.
And just enough to keep it off the bat. A little cut fastball.
David Wright has 17 home runs. He has struggled in the second half, though. He was making a run at a batting title in the first half of the season. Plays an exceptional third base. He's been a Gold Glove Award winner. But he is the focal point of this Mets offense. And when Wright went south, so did the Mets offensively. Just after the All-Star break. Wright has hit in 8 consecutive games. He's starting to get it back together a little bit. And another swing and a miss. 2-2 for Markham on Wright.
Fastball that was actually changeup down in the strike zone, and Wright way over the top of it and out in front. That's a good changeup by Markham.
Well, a leadoff runner is aboard, a single by Murphy. 2-2 to David Wright. Had a couple of doubles yesterday. Now, these numbers you take in context with David Wright. He's put up good numbers. 315 hitters, 17 homers, 81 driven in. But he is the Mets' best run producer at this point. Got jammed. Nyjer Morgan got a late break. He'll make the catch. Got to play it first. The throw in time. A double play as Murphy got caught in no man's land.
Well, Murphy felt as though he had to go halfway. Wasn't sure that if that ball was going to be caught or not. And Nyjer Morgan making a very good throw on the move. He was going full speed, and Murphy just too far from first base. I mean, that's not even halfway. That was 3/4, and there's no way he's going to get back. That's how far, look how close to second base he is, and he got it really a little better than that. Not a very good base running play.
A terrific, accurate throw from Nyjer Morgan. I think Murphy saw the panic in Morgan's motion to that ball and figured he was maybe going to get third base. Ends up as a double play, and 2 outs with 1 swing of the bat here as Ike Davis steps in. Now, those are the kind of mistakes that are just maddening for a manager. And you know Terry Collins, who is a stickler for the fundamentals, has to be burning up about that one.
Yeah, Brewers have done a good job on his homestand of getting outs on the bases. A bunch of them in the Atlanta series.
There was a game against the Braves where the Brewers eliminated Braves base runners on 4 different occasions in the same game.
Yeah.
Had a caught stealing, a pickoff, 2 throws from the outfield.
That shortens the game, and when you do that by a full inning, more than an inning, makes it tough to score runs.
1-2 the count on Davis, and that one's just outside. 2-2 on the big slugger Ike Davis. See what Markham has in mind in his bag of tricks here. The 2-2, and Davis hits that one hard into left center. That is going to get off the wall. Wow, smoked that one off the fence, and Davis is into second base with a double.
Yeah, so Daniel Murphy cost his team a run. That certainly would have scored a run. It would have been pretty close. If nothing else, it would have been second and third, and 1 out. Like Davis put a charge into that baseball, and that ball carried pretty well. Another off-speed pitch by Markham. He knew right away. He left that one up in the zone, and Davis doing a nice job taking it to left center.
Missed a home run by a couple of feet. That snaps it 0 for 12 for Ike Davis. He has scary power. I mean, it's just a flick of the wrist with that guy. So he's at second, and here's Lucas Duda now. Duda drove in a run with 2 outs in the first inning, and a 2-out RBI single to right field. And if you thought Nori Aoki was going to play a little more shallow next time around with Duda, you'd be wrong. He is deep in right. Brewers try to take away the slugging percentage.
I'll say. You can't get much deeper than that. Maybe part of that party out there in right field.
Yeah,
any deeper
in the ATI zone. Hit a hard foul. Hey, nice play over there. That's a way to pick it. Sweet little backhanded stab. All in a day's work.
Yeah,
nothing special.
Nothing to it.
Check it out. I got that. Little snow cone just for fun.
Nothing hard about this game.
That reminds me that fantasy camp signups are ongoing right now.
That's right. For men and women. Got to be 30 and over.
That's right. She doesn't make the cut. Here's the 2-1. Steer right on the outside corner. Dropped a changeup in there, and it's 2-2. What is that? Brewers.com/fantasy camp, Rock?
Yes, it is. Signups are going well.
Camp coordinator Bill Schroeder.
We're going to accept the first 75. We're getting there.
75, and then you cap it off.
That's it.
Still giving away the helmet?
Yep.
Nice. Here's the 2-2. Right off the end of the bat. Weeks will gobble it up, and the side is retired. So Markham gets some base running help by the Mets. Gets out of an inning. Big boys are coming up. Ryan Braun will lead off. Then Aramis Ramirez. All tied at 1.
Here at 1, I'm Sophia Minert. It's September baseball, and we're talking playoffs here on the pulse of social media, but a very different story than a year ago. Impossible for fans to forget how the Brewers ran away with the division title and lost in the NLCS. And this season, the Brewers put together their first winning month in August to go on this improbable run. So we want to ask fans, with Brewers in a playoff push, do fans think a team is in a better position leading or chasing in the standings? You can tweet us at FS Wisconsin with the hashtag playoff push. Brian and Bill, every game from here on out, a chance for the Crew to gain ground in this NL wildcard race.
Yeah, they know how important everyone is for the rest of the year. And I think that's the mentality that Ron Renicky is trying to avoid at this point. You know, the Brewers have 18 left. You'd love to go 18-0, but that's not going to happen.
No.
Most likely. So you have to get out of that mindset, which is more of a football mindset. But it's easy to feel that way because of the hole the Brewers are in, and then they fought themselves out as Braun goes back up the middle with a base hit.
Just got to take it one day at a time. I mean, it's a tired old cliche, but you can't worry about what everybody's doing in front of you. Got to take one at bat at a time. You hope that you get wins. And you do the little things to win each day, and then after the game you wake up and you find out where you're at. You can't worry about what's going on around you. The Brewers have put themselves in a position where they need a lot of help. They did not need help last year, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, the Brewers ran away with the division last season, a 96-win season last year. First division title since the '82 Brewers won it in the American League East. But the good news is the organization is competitive. They have come back. They've had a great comeback and doing it with a lot of young players. You hope they make it, whether they make it or not. This is invaluable experience for a lot of these young guys coming up here who are going to be a part of the big league picture next year. And I know Renicky is very excited about what he's seen from these young players coming up from the minor leagues. Ramirez into center field. Torres going back with room. And there is the out. First out of the inning.
Yeah, didn't have that sound. He got it down on the trademark just a little bit to keep it in the ballpark. He's shaking his head. He knew it as soon as he hit it that he didn't catch it on the sweet spot. And just a little bit down. You can see it right here. Down on the trademark just a little bit. Got it caught in on. Didn't really get extension either. You can see on the right. That bat really not out in front. And that's why it stayed in the ballpark.
That sweet spot has the most spring effect. Any part of the bat and the same swing can result in a much deeper fly ball. Braun takes off. He'll steal it. Shopping trying to be quick behind the plate. Braun got a great jump. And even a good throw would have been tough to throw him out. That's the 24th stolen base of the year for Ryan Braun.
Got a big lead, a very good jump, and Shopping knew it. That's why he tried to be a little bit too quick and lost it. Didn't have a chance anyway.
Braun has a chance for another 30-30 season. He had one last year for the first time. 24 stolen bases to go along with his 38 homers. Got a chance at a 40-30 season. So Lucroy, an opportunity to give the Brewers the lead. At the speedy Braun at second base. And a hitter's count for Lucroy. 2 balls, no strikes. Mejia zips one in for a strike. Mejia's fastball has tail and it has cut sometimes. So it goes in both directions. Which is why Terry Collins said he can live with a fastball on some occasions.
Well, with all that movement, and sometimes it's tough to throw it in the strike zone. Caught guys in the minor leagues and the big leagues that had that issue, and sometimes they didn't know what it was going to do. Cut, sink, and that made it very difficult to set a target.
Now the Mets are just hoping that he can keep it together mentally. He's going to take his lumps in the big leagues. He's only 22, but at some point, if he can hang in there, you figure he is going to be a serious weapon. 2-2 pitch. Lucroy takes ball 3.
And not only are these guys tough to hit because of all that movement, very tough to catch. And when you have a tough time really catching it in that perfect spot in the glove, a lot of times it's very difficult to throw out base runners because you're so worried about catching the baseball. You slow yourself down a little bit, and what happens is just what happened to Shopping. You drop the baseball.
Lucroy gets sawed off. Murphy is back, and he's got it for the out. Well, you can get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone. Each week, get live games on Fox Sports Wisconsin Plus and online at foxsportswisconsin.com. This Friday at 7 p.m., tune into Fox Sports Wisconsin Plus. Milton takes on Edgewood. And for upcoming schedules and Plus channel information, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. 2 gone now. Braun still at second. And here's Taylor Green. And there's strike 1. Green bounced out in the second inning. Rolled out to Murphy at second base. Strike 2. A spinner in there for a strike.
Able to throw that for a strike.
Brewers had the bases loaded last inning with 2 outs. Couldn't score. Braun at second here in the third. And Green bounces one to short. Ruben Tejada will make the play. And the inning is over. So the Brewers have left 4 so far. Still tied at 1. We go to the 4th.
pace of the game. And Sean Markham giving up a run in the first inning on a Lucas Duda base hit with 2 outs. That made the score 1-0, but the Brewers able to bounce right back in the top of the bottom of the first base. A Ryan Braun double scoring Ricky Weeks, who walked with 1 out. And we are tied at 1 as we head to the 4th.
So Markham back out there. Total board is identical right now. 1-4-0. 1 run, 4 hits, no runs for both clubs. Brewers have left 5 on. Correction. They left the bases loaded in the second. They had a leadoff hit from Braun last inning. Could not get him around. Valdespin squares and goes. And it's 0-2, says Jerry Lane. Bottom of the order coming up here. Valdespin, Shopik, and Torres. If anybody gets on, the pitcher will bat. Mejia. And a little half swing, able to check it this time. 1-2 the count. Checking some major league scores. Pirates beat the Cubs earlier today, so the Brewers need to win to keep pace with the Pirates. A half game ahead of Milwaukee. That ball's ripped. Base hit to right. As Valdespin singles to start the 4th inning, and the Mets, for the 2nd consecutive inning, have their leadoff hitter aboard. Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Mejia at 96, Markham at 88. Best fastballs for each.
Yeah, Markham making a mistake on a 1-2 pitch. Right there to Valdespin, and he smoked it into right.
Here's Kelly Shopik now. Elsewhere in the National League, the Phillies also ahead of the Brewers by half a game. They are in Houston tonight. They've split that series so far. Astros are up early, 3-0. That game's going to the 4th inning. Astros lead 3-0. Phillies at bat in the 4th. The big game that everybody's watching tonight, a little bit later. Cardinals Dodgers. Jaime Garcia against Joe Blanton. Blanton, the former Philly, now a Dodger. Dodgers got some bad news concerning their ace, Clayton Kershaw. He's been scratched from his start tomorrow, and reports are that he is going to be headed to New York to have his hip checked out.
That's not good. That'd be a big loss for the Dodgers. Wow. That's an understatement. That's their #1 guy.
Yeah, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, Clayton Kershaw. As much offense as the Dodgers have acquired via trade, they're still not hitting all that much, and their pitching has been suspect, especially if you take Kershaw out of the mix. Cardinals are sitting in the 2nd wild card spot. They're a game up on the Dodgers, 3 games up on the Pirates and the Phillies, and 3.5 on the Brewers. As of the beginning of play today. It's going to be a wild finish.
Yes, it is.
No matter what.
That's great. Those 2 wild card teams. That's that's awesome.
Yeah, the American League is up for grabs too.
Yeah, a lot can happen in both leagues.
Oakland, Baltimore, the Yankees, Angels, the Rays, all in the picture. That skips away from Lucroy, and Valdespin on his way to second.
Yeah, had it not been for that 2nd wild card, this would be a very boring September for the National League, right? I mean, all the divisions have pretty much been determined. Short of a cataclysmic collapse by somebody, and the wild card would be essentially over. Not the case now. Not if City's actively involved.
And you wonder if baseball is trucking its way towards that great finish like we saw last year. One of the greatest days in baseball history. The final day of the regular season last year when so many teams were trying to fight their way in. Both leagues too. Some dramatic finishes. The Rays, remember, with that thrilling win, Longoria had the game-winning home run in extra innings to beat the Yankees. It knocked the Red Sox out. The Braves lost. Kimbrel blew the save, allowed the Cardinals to win their way in. It'll be hard to match that day. But it kind of feels like we're heading for another one of those. There's a swing and a miss. Markham strikes out Shopping. And the first out of the inning. He needed that one.
Changeup got him. Changeup's been pretty good tonight.
It's just his second strikeout. Our trivia tonight, Rock, who is the Mets all-time leader in hits? Good question. Think about some of the great Mets sluggers of all time. They've had some great players in their history. Andres Torres with one away. Mets are wearing a patch on their sleeve of one of the greatest Mets of all time. Hall of Famer Gary Carter. He spent a good part of his career in Montreal, though. Runner goes. Lucroy's throw to third, and not in time. Stole that one off Sean Markham. He got a great jump. Swipes third base with one out.
That wild pitch got him to second base. A stolen base, now at third. Now a ground ball. Could give the Mets a 2-1 lead. A walking lead, and he steals it easily. Not much Lucroy could do about that.
Now the infield is in for the Brewers. 2-0 on Torres, and he takes a ball low. 3-0. That's threatening to take the lead here. Got the pitcher coming up next, though. This is a big hitter for Sean Markham as we play in the fourth. And he walked him on 4 straight. So now Mejia will bat. And that puts the Mets in a pretty good spot with a pitcher who can bunt. He's already dropped down a sacrifice in this game, and you figure he's up there to bunt again. This can be a tough spot to defend if the hitter gets a good bunt down. You see the Brewers do it all the time with runners at first and third and one out. It's indefensible with a good bunt.
Yeah. Especially when you have good speed at third base, which the Mets do. Valdespin.
There goes a runner. The squeeze is on. The bunt is down. And Markham will take the out. Perfectly executed. The suicide squeeze for the Mets. And they take a 2-1 lead.
Well, the young 22-year-old starting pitcher able to drop down the suicide squeeze and does it beautifully. Valdespin creeping down the line. Markham turns the throw. He takes off, and Mets take a 2-1 lead. That's a nice play when it works. And a good job by Mejia. Deading the ball in front of home plate.
Can't do any better than that. Good execution by the Mets. And the wild pitch hurts the Brewers this time. The wild pitch on the stolen base. So now 2 gone. Runner at second base for Ruben Tejada. And a swing and a miss. Markham's normally very good holding runners on. But he let Valdespin get a walking lead at second. And that stolen base cost him a run here. Oh, and 2 the count on Tejada. Saw the Braves had a comeback win tonight. They fell behind 4-0 on the Nationals. Came back to win 5-4. Freddie Freeman and Jason Hayward both homered. Adam LaRoche hit his 30th today for the Nationals.
Some kind of year for him, isn't it?
Craig Kimbrell with his 36th save, and the Braves winning 5-4. Atlanta has won the first 2 games of that series. There's a shot, base hit, right field. Coming in is Torres. The throw to the plate is late, and Torres scores. And the Mets get another 2-out hit. It's now 3-1 New York.
On an 0-2 pitch. You're talking about Markham having a tough time putting hitters away. That fastball up out over the plate. And now 3-1.
A couple of Mets that have been in dismal slumps breaking out of it tonight. For Tejada, he snaps an 0 for 13. Davis snapped an 0 for 12 earlier. Daniel Murphy takes a ball. Markham's given up 3 runs on 6 hits. That little cue shot. That's a fair ball. This is going to bring another run home. Murphy on his way to second. He has a 3-hit game. And it's now 4-1 Mets.
Mets are hitting him like Markham's throwing them. I mean, nothing really hit like a bullet. But Murphy now with 3 hits. A cue shot right off the end of the bat. Ramis Ramirez playing off the line. There's that change up. Just slices it inside the third baseline. That ball was down and in. Look at Lucroy. He just goes down and gets it. And just barely inside third base. And another run.
Back-to-back 2-out hits producing runs for the Mets. They had a 2-out RBI single in the first inning as well. And now David Wright. 4-1 Mets. Wright with 2 away. He's 0 for 2. And he takes ball 1. That was the 80th pitch by Sean Markham. Now, when Markham was right and going along at his best, he would breeze through innings. He'd have low pitch innings, get a lot of early counts, a lot of chasing early. He could get through 6 or 7 innings with 80 pitches. 2-1. Mets have scored 3 in this 4th inning on 3 hits. There was a wild pitch, a stolen base, and a squeeze bunt. And it's 3-1 to Wright.
And just doesn't have his location. I mean, that's really been the case since he's come off the DL. Long innings. Very slow pace to what he's doing out there, and that leads you to believe that he's a little bit unsure of himself out on the mound. Not sure what he wants to throw, where he wants to put it.
All right, did him a favor. Kind of a defensive swing for a 3-1 pitch. And the count goes full. Markham fooled him. Brandon Kinsler getting loose in the Brewers bullpen. You figure Markham is probably a hitter away after this one. Kinsler just started throwing. Trying to end it right here. Dangerous hitter at the plate. Full count, 2 outs. And Wright fouls it away. A lot of pitches tonight for Markham. Another 3-2. And Wright fouls out away. He's taking a big rip with 2 strikes.
Never left the changeup up and in. That's the only reason David Wright able to get a piece of it. Just can't find that put away pitch. That's been the problem that he's had since coming off the disabled list. Getting ahead's not a problem, but putting a hitter away, that's really been the issue.
Markham struck out David Wright in the first inning, got him with a fastball, down and away fastball. Daniel Murphy at second base. He had the 2-out double just a moment ago. 4-1 Mets. Another 3-2 pitch from Markham, and Wright swings and misses. Went back to the fastball, and Wright is gone. The Mets score 3, however, and lead 4-1.
Time to check in with the crew and the community. Fans, there are just 7 home games remaining after tonight, so take advantage of the Brewers 50-50 raffle. So far this season, over $1.4 million has been raised. Half of that has gone to the Brewers Community Foundation, funding critical community projects in the area of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. The other half has gone right back to you, the fans. Don't miss out on your opportunity to win and help the Brewers Community Foundation all at the same time. Brian?
All right, thanks, Telly. Been a great success once again this year. Nigel Morgan leads off. Mets scoring 3 runs in the top of the 4th. Markham struggling through that 4th inning, giving up 3 runs on 3 hits. Walked a batter. But he did strike out David Wright to keep the Mets at 4, and we'll see if the Brewers have some offense in them. They've been knocking at the door here tonight, Rock. They've stranded 5. 4 hits through the first 3 innings.
They just haven't been able to get at that big hit. They're 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. First 3 innings, and that one hit, an infield hit by Aramis Ramirez.
Brewers offense is going to have to try to spark some life in this building again. After the Mets just scored 3, the crowd is down, quiet right now. Long inning. And Morgan draws the walk.
That'll get him back into it. We wonder how long the leash is going to be from Mejia tonight. Mets with a lead. And pitch count right now, not too bad.
Now Mejia on about an 80 to 85 pitch limit tonight, according to his manager, Terry Collins.
He's at about 56 right now, and you can see more balls and strikes.
So here is Segura, who singled his last time up. That was back in the 2nd inning. The Brewers actually loaded the bases in that 2nd inning, but could not score. They loaded him up with 2 away. Shopik on his way to the mound.
Neither pitcher very sharp tonight, that's for sure. A lot of pitches, taking a lot of time in between pitches, and meetings at the mound.
Logan Schaefer looks like he's ready to hit next. That'll be the end of the line for Sean Markham. Looks like Brandon Kensler will have the 5th inning as he continues to loosen up in the Brewers bullpen. Breaking ball for a strike on Segura. Earlier today in the American League, the Yankees held on to beat the Tampa Bay Rays. That deals the Rays a severe blow. Rays are now 4 back in that wild card race. Segura, what a beautiful bunt. No chance. Bunt single for Gene Segura. Couldn't have rolled it out there any better.
And he disguised it beautifully. Right at the last minute, he dropped that bat down and rolled a beautiful bunt down the 3rd baseline. Boy, that is outstanding. Brewers needing base runners. Not a bad way to get it right there. Bunt base hit, so Segura's 2 for 2. 7 and 8 hitters have been on 4 times tonight already in the 4th inning. Outstanding.
Didn't even have to kick in the Jets right there. He knew he was going to beat that one out. So a meeting at the mound. Dan Warthen wanted to go through the process with Mejia, with Logan Schaefer announced as a pinch hitter.
And stalling for time to get that bullpen ready. Hey, the best seats, prices, perks, and the best of Brewers baseball. It's all yours with a season ticket package. For more information, call 414-902-HITS.
Jeremy Hefner loosening up, trying to get ready as quick as possible. Brewers have Mejia on the ropes again. 2 on to start the inning. Logan Schaefer will bat, coming off the Brewers bench. He's 1 for 6 this year in the big leagues. Schaefer spent most of the year in AAA Nashville, where he hit .278. Schaefer had a career best in home runs this year. He's not known as a power hitter, but he hit 11 this season in Nashville. Drove in 40. Also stole 16 bases. Schaefer is one of the best defensive outfielders the Brewers have in their entire organization. He's in a run producer spot here. Squares the bunt, and like Segura, it looked like he was trying to bunt for a hit. which is part of his game.
Yeah, try and get the top of the order up there with second and third. Get a couple of runs back.
David Wright a step on the grass. Mets scored 3 in the top of this inning. They lead 4-1. 2 on, nobody out against Mejia. Schaefer takes one lows. Nyjer Morgan and Segura thought about advancing. Both scamper back. I would imagine Morgan's a guy who's tough to read for a trailing base runner. Segura's keeping an eye on him. You don't really know what Nyjer Morgan's going to do.
He starts and stops and then starts again. You really have to be careful taking off. You're better off just staying at first. Then get thrown out at second, even if Nyjer takes off.
Two balls and a strike. And Schaefer down the line, a base hit. That's going to hit to the corner. Morgan scores easily. Here comes Segura. Schaefer racing around the bags. An easy triple. 2 runs in, a pinch hit triple for Logan Schaefer. And the Brewers within a run.
Well, you knew that was going to be a 3-bagger once the ball got all the way down in the corner, because Schaefer can fly around those bases. Well, a walk, a bunt single, and now a triple. And the Brewers right back in it, down and in. He just drops that bat head on it. Hits it hard, and takes a while for Balderspian to collect it in the corner and get it in. By that time, Schaefer all the way around to third base.
Pizza Hut delivery of the game for Logan Schaefer. His first career RBIs on his first career extra base hit. Well, congratulations, Logan Schaefer, and it comes in a big spot. Now the Brewers within a run. Aoki at the plate. Nobody out. Schaefer at third, representing the tying run.
Yeah, somewhat surprised he's still in all honesty. Top of the order coming up. Bullpen's ready.
Strike 1 to Aoki. Well, the Mets scored 3 in the top of this inning. The Brewers have answered and still at it. Two and one on Aoki, who walked his last time up. Mejia got him to ground out in the first inning.
That'd work. Ground ball up the middle. That'll tie the game.
Aoki lays off. 3 balls and a strike. Now big spot. The Brewers have a chance to make this a big inning. 2 runs already in. Hitters count for Aoki. And ball 4. The first 4 have reached. 2 walks, 2 hits. And here comes Terry Collins. You know he wanted to get Mejia to that 85 pitch number, but it's not going to happen here tonight. And out is Mejia. So both starters are out of the game. This one will belong to the bullpens the rest of the way. Have answered, and Logan Schaefer a big hit, 2 RBI triple, still nobody out. A reminder to come on out to Miller Park for Fan Appreciation Weekend, September 28th through the 30th. Brewers will be taking on the Astros. You can enjoy a weekend full of giveaways and prizes, including a new Chevrolet Camaro. Visit brewers.com/fan appreciation for all the details. Bernie's ready to slide. The Brewers will now be looking at a right-hander, Jeremy Hefner, who is in relief of Henry Mejia, who does not record an out in this 4th inning.
Well, 3 runs on 6 hits, but he also walked 5, did not strike out a batter, did Mejia. Now, Hefner, one of 11 relievers down in that Mets bullpen in his 23rd appearance tonight.
Logan Schaefer over at third base. He drove in 2 with a triple. And Aoki just walked. Good speed on the bags for Milwaukee. Here is Ricky Weeks with Braun to follow. And a bender in there for a strike. At this point, Mejia with 3+, giving up 3 earned runs. And as Rock mentioned, those 5 walks to go along with 6 hits, 11 base runners in 3+ innings. Yet the Mets still have the lead for now. Down in the dirt, and here comes Schaefer, and he will score. Aggressive base running. Schaefer saw it right away and is able to score the tying run on a wild pitch.
It looked like he spiked a sinker. I mean, that's a tough pitch for a catcher to handle. The fastball in the dirt like that, you really don't have a chance to get in front of it. You do your best. And Logan Schaefer with 2 RBIs, a base hit, and a run scored. He was getting a good look at some of the young players in tough games, in meaningful games here in September. And they're performing well.
Now it's tied with Weeks up there and a chance to give the Brewers the lead as Hefner deals a strike. Still nobody out. Aoki at second now. 3 runs are in on 2 hits and 2 walks. Now a wild pitch. Weeks launches one way back. Goodbye, Ricky Weeks. A 2-run home run. And the Brewers with a 6-4 lead. 5 runs into the 4th. Still nobody out as Ricky Weeks joins the 20-homer club.
Well, it's been the home stand of the big inning for Milwaukee. Well, he said before this inning that the Brewers have been having men on base, but haven't been getting the big hit. Well, they've gotten 2 big hits in this inning. A triple, now a home run. Number 20 for Weeks. 3rd consecutive year for Weeks with 20 or more home runs. And a no doubter to the left to give the Brewers a 2-run lead.
And here is Ryan Braun, who takes a ball. Boy, what an inning already. Remember, the Brewers against the Braves scored 8 runs in an inning earlier on this homestand. That was on Wednesday night. Had a 4-run inning against Atlanta and a 3-run inning in game 2 of that series. So yeah, you're right. The big inning has been the big story in this homestand so far. This is the 5th game of this 6-game homestand. 5 runs in here before an out has been recorded. 3 hits, 2 walks, and Weeks gives the Brewers the lead. Weeks gave the Brewers the lead in that game against Atlanta, that 8-run inning. He drove in the first 3 runs of that inning. Bouncer to right, nice pickup, and Braun is retired. There's the first out of the 4th inning. So we can update our Powerball home run leaderboard. Now the Brewers with 4 players with 20 or more home runs. Gomez still has a chance at it. Yeah, Ricky Weeks had 20 last year. in 2010 hit 29 home runs. So 3 in a row for Ricky Weeks. You might have lost a bet if you were asking for a 20 home run season from Weeks at the All-Star break this year.
No way. That's how hot he's been. As bad of a first half as Ricky Weeks had, that's as good as the second half as he's had. I guess I could have said that a little bit better, but you know what I meant. It's about as good a second half as you can have after a rough first half. I like that better.
I knew exactly what you meant.
I know, but I had to do it right.
Now Ricky Weeks now at 12 home runs in the second half of the season. And still a lot of baseball to be played. 18 games including tonight. Ramirez fouls it away. Weeks in the first half hit 199, 8 homers, 29 RBIs. He's at 268 with 12 home runs and 29 RBIs now. Ramirez, little bouncer out to Murphy. Nice pickup. And there is out number 2. So Braun and Ramirez retired. 2 gone in the inning with the bases empty. And here comes Lucroy.
And as we've been talking, I mean, it can't be 2 or 3 guys carrying the offense if you expect to be in the middle of a streak like the Brewers have been in, you know, winning as much as they have, and everybody contributing up and down the batting order, and that's what's been going on. Guys coming off the bench, getting it done, like Logan Schaefer tonight. Top of the order's been good. Bottom of the order's been on 4 times tonight. That's how you lead the league in runs scored.
And the Brewers are the top dog in home runs as well. But it's not just a power hitting team. It's a balanced offensive attack. They've been great in the second half, but they do a lot of things well. You know, Renicky has brought this aggressive base running to the organization. It's not a team that sits back for the 3-run homer, although they're capable of doing that. Lucroy, a little lazy pop-up. Murphy's back, and he's got it, and the inning is over. But the Brewers do some big damage. A 5-run inning capped off by a Ricky Weeks homer, a 2-run shot, number 20 of the year. 6-4 Brewers lead. Fourth inning for Milwaukee in a series of big innings for the Brew Crew. Started against the Atlanta Braves on Monday night. The Brewers scoring 4 runs in the 7th inning. And Milwaukee able to win that game, winning the first of 3, and ended up as a sweep Tuesday was a 3-run 7th inning. Braves coming back in that ball game and winning game 2 of that set. And then Wednesday against the Braves, the biggest one so far, an 8-run inning in the game that Gallardo started. Gallardo also chipped in with an RBI. Travis Ishikawa and Ricky Weeks both drove in 3 runs apiece in that 8-run inning. And Rock tonight, the 4th inning was the big one. It started with a Segura infield bunt single after Morgan had walked, and then Logan Schaefer comes up big.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, the bottom of the order getting it done. Nigel Morgan 2 walks tonight. Segura's been on twice with base hits. Bottom of the order setting the table, and then Ricky Weeks was number 20 to give the Brewers a 6-4 lead.
Answering a Mets 3-run 4th inning. Now you think about hitters 7, 8, and 9 in this game tonight for the Brewers, and that includes the pitcher Markham, who dropped down a sacrifice bunt. They have not been retired tonight. No official at bats is a better way to say it. Got 2 walks, 3 hits, a sac bunt, 3 runs scored. Brandon Kinsler takes over for Markham. And Kinsler hoping to restore some order here as the Mets scoring 4 runs off Sean Markham. Markham exits with 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs all earned. Had a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts, but taken off the hook for a loss.
Yeah, Kinsler last pitched on Tuesday against the Atlanta Braves. He tossed a scoreless 9th inning, gave up a hit, struck out a batter. Got called up on September 3rd.
2-2 pitch. Ike Davis a swing and a miss. Kinsler bringing the heat, and Davis a strikeout victim.
Well, tonight's timer of the game winner, Saucy's Bar in Manitowoc. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Saucy's Bar in Manitowoc.
Sauced at Saucy's. There's Duda now, and fouls the first pitch away. Well, Kinsler is in stark contrast to Sean Markham. He has a terrific fastball. And you figure there'll be an adjustment period for these Mets hitters as well. Got to give Kinsler a lot of credit. He's had a comeback season this season. Had a nerve problem in his elbow that required surgery. Was taken off the major league roster. No teams picked him up. He stayed with the Brewers. Worked his way back. Went through the minor league system. And was pitching so well in Double-A Huntsville that the Brewers gave him a shot here in the big leagues, and he's pitched extremely well for Milwaukee. Duda rips that one into right center. Aoki cannot get there. That one hops the wall. And Lucas Duda with a 1-out double. Ripped that one in the gap in right center. His second hit.
And look for a second that Aoki was going to be able to get there. He plays that so deep, just has to go across. But Duda hit that ball right on the nose. He smoked that one into right center. Good looking hitter. Just a matter of him getting enough at bats and getting that consistency. A really nice, easy swing, one-handed, keeping the bat in the hitting zone a long time, and whistles one into right center.
So the Mets with a runner at second base for Jordani Valdespin. Takes a strike from Kinsler. Valdespin reached on an 0-2 single in the 4th inning. Then he went to second on a wild pitch. He stole third base and then scored on a suicide squeeze by the pitcher Mejia. Proving how speed can help. He's down 0-2 again. Both starters are out. Both relievers wearing number 53, Kinsler and Hefner. Kinsler has had a career of overachieving. He was in the independent leagues at one point, just trying to hang on to a baseball career. He wasn't even in affiliated baseball, playing in the Northern League.
You wonder what he would have been able to do in his career had he stayed healthy. It's been one thing or another throughout his career, but he's always been able to keep that big fastball, no matter what's been going on with him. You name it, he's had it, but he's back in the big leagues.
He's originally from Nevada, Palo Verde, Nevada. Played his college ball at Dixie State in Utah. I believe that's where Dale Swaim's son is playing right now.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Dixie State. He's always had to prove himself. He's been the right-hander that most scouts look at and say, you're not quite big enough to hold up as a major league pitcher. He's only 5'10", goes 180 pounds. Padres gave him a shot out of college. Got released by the Padres. He ended up in Winnipeg in the Northern League. Winnipeg's a long ways away from the big leagues for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
He was working in the front office in Winnipeg. I mean, he was thinking about a post-baseball career.
I'm afraid I'm gonna ask you, have you ever been to Winnipeg?
I've been close.
Yeah.
Did a golf tournament up there.
Yeah, I have never been to Winnipeg. Been all around Canada, but not Winnipeg. Had some rookie ball teams in Canada. Certainly had some PCL teams. When I played in Vancouver in AAA with Milwaukee.
Did you ever play in Medicine Hat?
Yes. Lethbridge.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Full count. Valdespin hanging in there. And he lines one right to Weeks. Back is Duda. Well, good battle there for Valdespin, but he lines out for the second out of the inning. Back to our trivia question. Brought to you by AT&T, who is the Mets all-time leader in hits. A lot of great players that come through New York, but Ed Kranepool, not the first name that comes to mind. David Wright is pursuing Ed Kranepool. He's just 7 hits shy of tying Kranepool for the all-time Mets hit total.
Yep, left-handed hitting first baseman, Ed Kranepool. They're part of that amazing Mets.
Yep, 69 Mets, and Kranepool was with the original Mets. There's a swing and a miss. Big cut by Shopik on a breaking ball. So you grew up in Jersey. Did you trend toward the Mets or the Yankees?
New Jersey, that is.
Or I'm sorry, New Jersey.
There's 2 words to the name of that state, by the way.
It's a hot spot. Very touchy subject.
I was a Yankee fan, but in 1967 I was a big Met fan.
And then
Yanks weren't very good back in those days.
right.
Phillies. That was a great place to grow up back in those days. Always had 3 baseball games on. It was like the cable is now.
Right. But back in those days, I mean, you had a hard time finding a big league game on TV, except where you live.
Right.
That is a foul ball by Shopik.
The tri-state area. Yep, you betcha.
So you had the Phillies. Where were the Phillies? Where'd you pick up the Phillies? Harry Callis? Was he? No, that was probably.
That was
before he
Byron Salm.
Yeah.
I think Harry Callis was young.
Byron Salm. That's a great
Salm.
name.
Richie Ashburn.
And then the WOR, right, with the Mets.
Yeah.
with Ralph Kiner. Kiner's corner.
Lindsey Nelson. Like it was yesterday. Bob Murphy was part of that group.
The legendary Hall of Fame announcer.
And then the Yankees had Bill White, Phil Rizzuto, and Frank Messer. As we march down memory lane.
Yeah, that's good. Taking Rock from his days in Jersey, growing up in New Jersey.
Right, new.
Says John Bon Jovi. We don't refer to it as Bon Jovi. We just say Jovi.
Joves.
2-2 pitch. And a strike called. Shopik is rung up just in time. Kinsler with a scoreless fifth picks up 2 Ks. Ricky Weeks with a big hit tonight. Had a 2-run home run to give the Brewers the lead. It is 6-4. We welcome you back from Miller Park. Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Great crowd on hand. A beautiful Saturday night. And the Brewers with a 5-run 4th inning. Now on top 6-4. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder and Telly Hughes. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers Baseball Club. Rock new pitcher is Justin Hampson.
Yeah, he's allowed only 1 run so far in 6 innings. Made his Mets debut back on June 25th. He made his major league debut back in 06. So talk about a guy that's been bouncing around and finally back in the major leagues. Justin Hampson, one of 3 left-handers down in that Mets bullpen.
Went from 08 to this season between major league appearances. They'll face Carlos Gomez, who pinch hits for Taylor Green. So Taylor Green is out. 0 for 2. He finishes. Gomez will take over. Big swing and a miss. Gomez was talking to a lot of his old buds from the Mets organization. He came up with a lot of these Mets players. Signed and developed by the Mets, brought to the big leagues. Gomez was actually signed as a shortstop. But the Mets had a pretty good shortstop at the time named Jose Reyes. So they encouraged Gomez to play elsewhere, which he was glad to do.
Yeah, it didn't take much convincing, did it?
Gomez went to center field.
He still takes ground balls over at shortstop in batting practice. Looks pretty good over there.
He is dying for a chance to play shortstop again. in one of those odd infield configurations. Renicky always goes with Braun on the 5-man infield, but Gomez is always saying me, me, me when that time comes. Pick me, coach. Put me in. I'm ready to play. One and two on Gomez. Ball skips away. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Gomez called out, tagged out to secure the strikeout for the first out of the inning.
That breaking ball slider, and Gomez trying to hold up. Shopik keeps it close, and then on the appeal they ring him up. Okay, good call. One thing you don't want to do is run right away. You know, when you check your swing like that, kind of give yourself away. And by the time you get the appeal, too late to take off.
Here's Nigel Morgan now. Morgan started that 5-run 4th inning. Led off with a walk. Matter of fact, he's walked twice tonight. Renicky giving him a start. And he has responded. Oh, and 2 the count. Hampson, the third pitcher used by the Mets tonight. Jeremy Hefner entered the game last inning with nobody out. Gave up that 2-run home run to Ricky Weeks. So Mejia, 5 earned runs, the Mets starter. Hefner an earned run in his 1 inning and 1 hit. One ball, 2 strikes on Nigel Morgan. And it goes to 2-2. He's been a patient hitter tonight. Got Segura on deck. And Morgan takes ball 3.
Hampson not a hard thrower, is he? You know, 85, 86. He's got a breaking ball. Looks like he's got a curveball and a slider.
Little half swing, slow roller, going to be a tough play. Shopik, no play. Nigel Morgan with an infield hit on an excuse me swing. On base for the 3rd time tonight. That's a bonus against a left-handed pitcher.
Shopik was able to get there on the check swing. He just was not able to get it out of the glove and get it to first base. If he gets rid of it right away, he's got the out, I think, but maybe didn't have the handle on it, didn't want to throw it down the line.
Morgan, a base stealer. He's at first for Segura, who has 2 hits tonight. Here comes Terry Collins, and he's going to make another pitching change. Pitchers to burn with the September call-ups, the expanded rosters, and Collins is going to plow through a few of them tonight. Hampson is out, faces 2 batters, and he'll give way. We'll take a timeout. As we have a pitching change. She's having a great time. From a minor to a minor leaguer. The Brewers minor league report. Wisconsin, they're in the Midwest League Finals tonight. They have a 7-4 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning at Fort Wayne. The Timber Rattlers trying to take a 2-1 advantage in that series. That is a best-of-5 for the Midwest League title. So we are wishing them luck, and we're staying on them tonight. The T-Rats leading 7-4. Another pitcher coming out of the Mets bullpen. This time it's the right-hander Colin McHugh. The fourth pitcher used by Terry Collins tonight.
You see, he hadn't been up here very long. 3.60 ERA. 14 strikeouts in 15 innings of work, so he's got a good arm, only 3 walks.
They are underway in Los Angeles. The Cardinals scoring twice in the first inning. They have a 2-0 lead over the Dodgers. Dodgers coming up for the first time against Jaime Garcia. Big game the Brewers are paying attention to, just underway out west. Right now the Brewers are 3.5 back of the Cardinals for the second wild card spot. Milwaukee leads 6-4. We play in the 5th. And here's Gene Segura. Segura is 2 for 2 tonight. Had a single to center field, and then he bunted for a hit as part of that 5-run 4th inning. And all 5 of those runs scored before there was an out in that inning. Colin McHugh in his first year in the big leagues against Segura, also in his first year in the big leagues. Coming to the Brewers in that trade with the Angels. Zach Greinke for Segura, and 2 pitchers, 2 minor league pitchers, both with a lot of promise. Johnny Helwig and Ariel Pena.
Yeah, this is McHugh's first appearance out of the bullpen. He's been working his first 3 games with the Mets as a starter.
He's just 25 years of age. And a breaking ball misses. You might remember McHugh. He made his major league debut against the Rockies. That was back in late August. He went 7 shutout innings against Colorado. He gave up just 2 hits and he struck out 9. And the Mets thought they had a star on their hands in the making, and they still might. His next 2 starts, he was unable to go past 4 innings. Gave up 6 runs in 2 starts after that in 8 innings.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to get a book on you at this level. Get up to the big leagues, you might have some early success, but teams catch on to you quickly.
McHugh is in the rotation in the minor leagues, AA and AAA, split time between Binghamton and Buffalo this year. So he's made the trek, AA, AAA to the big leagues.
And so did Mejia. Same route.
It is a Mets farm system that is a little thin these days. Segura pops it up. Murphy will make the call, and there is the second out of the inning. Nigel Morgan has to stay put. So the pitcher spot coming up, Renicky is going to call on Travis Ishikawa, who's been starting recently for the injured Corey Hart, and he's done a nice job. Jose Veras will be next up. Ishikawa as a pinch hitter this year is 11 for 44. That's a .250 batting average, and has 7 runs batted in. Runner goes. Throw to second, and Morgan is safe. And look at Niger pointing at Mike Easterbrook. Here comes Terry Collins. He wants to discuss this with the second base umpire.
It looked like he had his hand in there. Good throw by Shopik, but Morgan had a pretty good jump. Decent lead, very good jump, decent throw, very good throw, and bang, bang. And Niger Morgan applauding the call by the second base umpire, and he was safe.
Now that high tag by Tejada. The throw is a little high and close, but Morgan sneaks a hand in there, according to Mike Easterbrook.
Made the mistake going after the runner and not just tagging the bag. Put the glove right down in front of the bag.
It's one of the benefits of white batting gloves on a white base. So now a base hit. The Brewers can add to their lead as Ishikawa is up with Morgan in scoring position.
He'll probably be stay in the game and play first base.
Carlos Gomez pinch hit for Taylor Green. Managers have a lot of options. It's calling on the right options that is the key at this time of year. You got plenty of players though to deal with. You can play matchups really from the 5th inning on, and we're already seeing that from Terry Collins tonight. These are moves you would never see the first 5 months of the season.
Don't have enough pitchers to do this stuff. Certainly not in the 5th inning, that's for sure.
Niger Morgan at second, had an infield hit and a stolen base. Ishikawa would love to bring him home. The 1-2, down and out, 2-2 the count. It's not uncommon for young pitchers to come up, take their time between pitches, really get settled in their mind, go deep into counts. That was what was so impressive about Tyler Thornburg and Josh Stinson last night. These guys got on the mound and were letting it rip.
That shows signs of confidence. Yep, this is what I want. Catchers understanding what they want to throw and when. Catchers have a lot to do with that. Get it and go.
Thornburg on the right, Stinson to his right. Both pitched last night for the first time in a while. It had been 12 days for Thornburg. 2-2. Ishikawa fights one off. Brewers lead 6-4, had a 5-run 4th inning. Trying to add to it. Ishikawa pinch hitting. And he pulls one fair down the right field line. That's headed to the corner. In to score Morgan. Ishikawa thinking about third. He's on his way. And he will make it. An RBI triple for Travis Ishikawa. Renicky been riding the hot hand, and the pinch hitter delivers here in the 5th.
Back-to-back pinch hit triples by the Brewers in the number 9 spot. How about that? And 3 RBIs. He went down and got it. It was a breaking pitch. Ishikawa one-hands it and hits it hard down the first baseline, all the way down to the corner. And Niger Morgan gives the Brewers a 7-4 lead.
So Morgan with that infield hit and the stolen base. First triple of the year for Ishikawa. That swing kind of reminded me of Nori Aoki. That had a little Aoki-ism in him.
At times you take that top hand off just to keep the bat level through the hitting zone if you're out in front, and it worked. So Lucas Duda did that. He hit a double into right center.
There's a base hit. Aoki drives in a run. And it is 8-4 Brewers. Couple of 2-out hits for Milwaukee producing runs.
And Brewers 4 for the last 4 with runners in scoring position after going 1 for 5. Had a pitch up in the strike zone, did McHugh, and he banged it right back into center field.
Ishikawa's been on a nice run here on this homestand, getting a lot of playing time and needs a little oxygen after legging out his first triple of the year.
Brewers with 7 unanswered runs in the last 2 innings.
Mets scored 3 in the top of the 4th to take a 4-1 lead. And it's now 8-4. We're still in the bottom of the 5th. And here is Ricky Weeks with Aoki at first base. Weeks had a big blast in the 4th. Long home run into deep left center. Almost knocked it into the Harley Davidson deck. Ricky Weeks with his 20th home run back in the 4th inning. Weeks takes a stretch. Take you back to the 4th inning. And check out the distance on this home run by Weeks. This was in a 4-4 game. Weeks giving the Brewers the lead for the first time. Booming home run to left center. 424 feet they measured it. 2 outs with Aoki at first. And Weeks a swing and a miss. Part of this new group of big league second basemen with home run power. Guys like Robinson Cano and Dan Uggla, Chase Utley, Kelly Johnson. Weeks with his 3rd consecutive year of 20 or more home runs. The only other second baseman in franchise history to have 3 straight 20 homer seasons, Don Money, back in the 70s. There goes Aoki. And Weeks in the air to center. This is playable for Torres. Side retired, but the Brewers score twice, get a couple of 2-out run producing hits. Ishikawa and Aoki, and it's 8-4 Milwaukee.
2 innings, take an 8-4 lead over the Mets as we head to the 6th. Come out to the ballpark on Sunday, September 30th, as the Brewers take on the Astros. Everyone's a winner, as all fans in attendance will get a scratch-off card revealing great prizes. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation for details.
Some changes here for Milwaukee. Carlos Gomez will stay in to play center field after his pinch hit appearance. Travis Ishikawa remains in at first base after his pinch hit RBI triple, and Jose Veras is the new hurler in relief of Brandon Kinsler. Kinsler works a scoreless inning, and now it's Veras, his 65th appearance of the season, trying to keep the Mets at 4.
Man, he's been pretty good. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 6 appearances and has been unscored upon in 15 of 17 appearances. Last worked on Wednesday against the Braves.
Kinsler went an inning, giving up a double, had 2 strikeouts. A scoreless inning for Brandon Kinsler. Sean Markham started. Markham left this game trailing 4-1, but the Brewers were able to score 5 in the bottom of the 4th to take him off the hook, and added 2 more last inning. Andres Torres takes strike 1. The Brewers with 2 pinch hit RBI triples in this game, sending our media relations department scampering for the last time that's happened. That's going to be an interesting find. Do you remember any in your career here?
I don't recall.
That's tough to do. A triple is tough to do in the first place, but to get it twice from pinch hitters. Logan Schaefer and Travis Ishikawa with pinch hit triples tonight. Schaefer's produced 2 runs. Ishikawa 1.
And doing it the same way. Ground balls inside the first baseline. You think they can dig that up? Last time that's happened?
Knowing Mike Vasallo, they're just going to make a phone call and have somebody else do it. There's a swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Day game tomorrow for the Brewers. Final game of the series with the Mets. It'll be Willie Peralta against Chris Young tomorrow. Looking forward to watching Willie Peralta pitch again. He's been very good so far. There's a pop-up. See if Ramirez has a play. He does. Oh, he dropped it. Aramis Ramirez got a little gun shy with that rail, and it went in and out of his glove. It could give him an error on that one.
Yeah, he should get an error on that. And a rare error for Ramirez. He's only had 1 error in the last 92 games and has gone 42 in a row without an error, and it will be an error.
He just took his eye off the ball. Just his 7th error of the season. Ramirez has the fewest errors among the regular third basemen in the National League and the highest fielding percentage. I tell you, a game like this, even though you're in a pennant race, I mean, this is a challenge for defenders. Pitchers have struggled, at least the 2 starters. There's a strike called as Veras rings the bell on Torres.
Yeah, that patented curveball from Jose Veras. He loves to throw that pitch and gets a lot of strikeouts. And here comes Rick Kranitz to go over a scouting report on Fred Lewis, the pinch hitter.
Up and in, low and away.
Throw your curveball down in the zone, you'll be all right.
That's a scouting report that applies to everyone, right?
That's the way they used to be.
Up and in, down and away.
Back when I played, yeah, pitch him away. We don't know much about him. Pitch him away, see if he can go to right. You know, that's not a bad idea, though.
I mean, it worked for Raleigh Fingers to a Hall of Fame career.
Right. Wasn't as much thinking going on back in those days. Now, what did they say about this guy again?
Stinking thinking sometimes.
Man. Got to be a Rhodes Scholar to go through all that stuff. It's all valuable. But I think that's where Rick Kranitz really makes it easy for the pitchers and catchers. He sifts through it. and gives them what he feels as though they need to get to a game. Doesn't overload them too much.
Yeah, that's a great point. Kranitz really does do a great job keeping things simple, even for us.
Yeah.
You know, we go to Rick Kranitz all the time. We ask him about the pitchers and how guys are going, what he sees, and he speaks an easy language to understand as far as mechanics, because you can get very deep, as the Brewers know, their former pitching coach Rick Peterson. Sometimes you walk away from a Rick Peterson meeting fascinated but dumbfounded, because he could go as deep as you wanted to go with the mechanics.
Sometimes I used to walk away from one of those conversations. Did I ever play this game? What was that? I don't get that. They got to make it simple for the guys, and they're trying to execute.
Lewis slashes it foul. And Peterson, the pitching coach of the Mets for many years. There's nothing wrong with that approach, but
you have to have the personnel that's able to handle it. You remember Jonathan Lucroy just got to the big leagues. A lot going on with him, young kid. And I think sometimes a little overwhelmed with all that stuff.
no balls, 2 strikes. Veras against Fred Lewis, the pinch hitter. And that one misses upstairs, a fastball. A lot of moving parts with Jose Veras. He has pretty wild unraveling and delivery. Head moves everywhere.
But it's been working for him lately. He's been good.
That's what makes him effective, right?
Yeah, what makes him good is what makes him inconsistent. And when he's got it going, he's tough.
There's a swing and a miss. Nice block by Lucroy, and he secures the strikeout with a tag. So Lewis is retired. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jose Veras.
They tried to get him chased for high fastball, didn't do it, then goes back to the curveball, and Lewis just waves at it. Good job by Lucroy keeping that glove down.
See, just like you said, Rock, keep your breaking ball down. The universal scouting report.
Never get hurt too bad when you do that.
Has any pitching coach ever said, just if you throw him a hanging curveball, and if your fastball's middle, you'll be fine.
Sometimes that's the way you had to do with George Brett.
You had to make him too good to hit.
And hope he hit it at somebody.
At least it wouldn't affect your pitch count.
Right.
Kranitz and Renicky having a chat. Jerry Narron, the bench coach. Those are the 3 that make the decisions, and there's a lot of discussion with those 3. There's a fly ball to right. Tejada will fly out, and a tidy inning. 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. The Mets go in order. Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time.
Well, tomorrow, fans attending the Brewers-Mets game at 1:10 p.m. will get an Aramis Ramirez bobblehead. That's courtesy of Wild Impact Marketing. For tickets, call 414-902-4000. Come on out to the ballpark. Going to be a beautiful day.
Some good seats still available in every section. We're expecting a big crowd, but still some availability. So we're encouraging you to go online, buy your tickets, or show up tomorrow and try to sell out the ballpark tomorrow. It's about 7,000 seats remaining. And Willie Peralta,
check him out.
He's got the wow factor. Never know. Manny Acosta will pitch for the Mets. In for Colin McHugh.
Well, 36th appearance, and you can see the earned run average for Acosta, 755. He's allowed 37 runs this year. That's the fourth most of any major league reliever this year. So he's had a rough time of it.
Ryan Braun leads off. 8-4 Milwaukee, bottom of the 6th inning, and a big hack from Braun. And Braun at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Got an RBI double in the first inning that tied the score at 1. Braun singled and stole a base in the 3rd inning. Grounded out his last time up. So he's 2 for 3. His batting average .312. Still nursing an injured wrist. You figure the Monday off day will certainly help Ryan Braun. He said the off day Thursday was big for him to come back. There's a strike called as Braun is rung up. Breaking ball from Acosta. Former Met Francisco Rodriguez loosening in the bullpen. He'll have the next inning. Nice job, Jose Veras. That's what the Brewers have been looking for. A nice quick inning.
Yeah. Well, good job by Kinsler and Jose Veras so far. 3 more innings to get through out of that bullpen, but and one of the reasons that the Brewers have been winning so much, not just the offense, bullpen has really turned things around in the last month. Finishing games.
Aramis Ramirez 1 for 3 tonight. He had an infield hit back in the first inning. Ramirez hitting .298. Committed an error last inning, his first error in 42 games. Just his 7th of the year. Dropped a pop-up. Paper airplane coming in hot. Second base to the pitcher's mound. Oh, what a landing. Just don't do that anymore. That was kind of cool to watch. It's a giant paper airplane, right? Just don't get any more ideas.
Came from the upper deck.
I mean, I saw that thing almost the whole way. It was on a perfect arc. I thought it was going to hit the pitch.
Mesmerizing, wasn't it?
I totally lost interest in the game.
I'm glad they stopped play.
And Ramirez is drilled and not happy. I don't know if Acosta and Ramirez have any history, but Ramirez not pleased with that pitch.
And not even close. I mean, you wonder about that and what's going on with that, but that was clearly intended to be way in off the inside corner. Not to say they were supposed to hit him, but it smoked him right in the side.
Well, these two teams have a little bit of history going back to New York back in May. And Ryan Braun was hit, and then the next inning Terry Collins removed David Wright from the game. You might remember that Wright and Collins got into an argument in the dugout. Wright felt like he should stay in the game. If anybody was going to get hit, it was going to be Wright. Terry Collins said, I'm not playing that game, not on my watch. Not that the Brewers would have retaliated anyway, but Collins wasn't going to take that chance. Both managers were asked about it before the series started, and neither said it was on their radar.
That's a long time ago. Players remember, managers remember, certainly the media remembers, but doesn't have much to do with what's going on now. A lot of time has come and gone between those two incidents.
Ramirez on base for the second time, hit by a pitch. Now Lucroy with one out. And that one's ripped left field. That's down, a base hit. Jonathan Lucroy with his first hit.
Yep, fastball straight as his string, up and in, and Lucroy has been turning on pitches in this homestand against the Braves and the Mets. Fastball's in, ripping him into left field.
Reason to smile. 8 runs, 11 hits for Milwaukee. And here is Carlos Gomez batting for the second time. Pinch hit last inning. Stayed in the game to play center field. And a massive swing. Loses his bat. There's a little bit of wow factor with Gomez, even when he swings and misses. Prince Fielder is the only other guy that I remember that with the Brewers recently that could get those kind of oohs and ahs on a swing and a miss.
And Bernie could do it. Jeremy Burnitz.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He used to fire that bat.
I was always amazed. Jeremy Burnitz was able to stay healthy and didn't blow his back out with those big swings. Former All-Star with the Brewers.
I wonder what he's doing now.
Yeah, his last year was 06, I think.
Yeah.
Finished his career with the Pirates. But his best years came as a Brewer.
One of those many outfielders that left Cleveland. Richie Sexton, I should say Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Guys like that, a lot of them. Indians had a lot of offense back in those days. They were willing to give it away to try to find some pitching.
Two and two on Gomez. Brewers lead 8-4. Scored 7 unanswered. A 5-run fourth, 2 more in the 5th. Now batting in the 6th. And threatening once again. 2 on with 1 out. And Gomez rips it foul. You can't get it too far inside for Gomez. Sometimes he either fouls it off or it hits him. He loves to turn on the inside pitch.
Yes, he does.
Acosta ready. And a breaking ball missed. Cardinals Dodgers now in the 3rd inning. St. Louis leads 2-1. Dodgers are batting in the bottom of the 3rd. Alan Craig is homer tonight. His 21st. Cardinals got 2 runs in the first inning. Pirates beat the Cubs earlier today. Braves defeated the Nationals. A comeback win for Atlanta. Full count, 1 away. And a swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball. Second strikeout for Acosta, and 2 gone in the 6th.
It's that slider, the same pitch that he was able to get Ryan Braun on the strikeout. Gomez looking fastball. Cost the game the slider, went straight down and right over the top.
So it's going to be Bianchi now to pinch hit. He'll be hitting in the pitcher spot. Jose Veras goes a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts. The spot was originally occupied by Nyjer Morgan, who had 2 walks and an infield hit. Right off the end of the bat, Bianchi quickly retired, and the Brewers come up empty in the 6th. Already 6 in the books. We go to the 7th. 8-4 Milwaukee. Toyota, the Brewers erupt a 5-run 4th inning. Segura with a bunt single and a 2 RBI triple by the pinch hitter Logan Schaefer. That brought the Brewers within a run, and then with a game tied, Ricky Weeks, a 2-run home run, his 20th of the year, gave the Brewers a 6-4 lead. The Brewers kept at it. An infield hit by Nyjer Morgan in the 5th inning with 1 out, and then with 2 outs, the second pinch hit triple of the night. Ishikawa drove in Morgan did Aoki, plated Ishikawa. 2 2-out RBI hits for Milwaukee. And that's where we sit, 8-4. And the Brewers pounding out 11 hits. This great run they've been on, the offense has been a big part of it. See, Weeks has his 20th home run, a couple of triples by pinch hitters. Braun has a double. Braun and Morgan with stolen bases tonight. Plenty of offense for Ron Renicky as they have scored 7 unanswered against the New York Mets. And now it'll be Frankie Rodriguez out of the Brewers bullpen. He'll pitch the 7th.
And you figure K-Rod, then you go to Henderson, and then if need be, you go to Axford. K-Rod's been very good along with Jose Veras. The bullpen in general has been doing a very good job. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Atlanta Braves, and has been unscored upon in 13 of his last 15 appearances.
Bouncing ball, Murphy out to Ishikawa. He'll take it himself, and 1 gone. Rodriguez traded from the Mets to the Brewers last year during the All-Star break. And of course, K-Rod coming to Milwaukee, he was the Mets closer, and then pitched in a setup role with the Brewers. He and John Axford What a tandem they were. Brewers did not lose a game in the second half of last year if they had a lead after 7. And you might remember when Rodriguez arrived in Milwaukee, you know, he was still in that mindset that he would be closing games. He would be used as a closer. Doug Melvin had said that, you know, it's going to be up to the manager, but it won't be every night that Axford can close out games. But that situation never really presented itself. And K-Rod was vocal about it, but he wasn't to the point where he didn't want to pitch. He wanted to compete and pitch, but he was clear about the fact that he wanted to be a closer. But he ended up being one of the best setup guys in the National League last year.
Hard to unseat a guy like Axford the way he was pitching. I mean, that's a tough argument to make.
Axford was in the middle of a streak of 49 consecutive saves, which was snapped earlier this year. And if the Brewers are going to fight their way back into this thing, it's going to have to be K-Rod, Henderson, Axford. Those three are going to have to be locked down at the end of games, just like they were last season.
A little housekeeping out there in the bullpen.
That one misses upstairs. David Wright draws the walk. And a man on for the Mets with one away.
First baseman, Mike Davis.
Yep. First Axford, now Livan Hernandez. Got to tidy up. No telling what he's sweeping up. I don't even want to know. Thank goodness the wall is there. That's another world down there in the bullpen.
Yeah. For their eyes only. And ears.
What goes on in the bullpen stays in the bullpen. It's best that way. There's a breaking ball strike. Dodgers have been able to come back and tie that game against the Cardinals tonight. 2-2 now in the third inning. That ball's ripped to right. Aoki will watch it bounce. Ike Davis with his second hit. On base for the third time, and now the Mets with 2 on and 1 out. A walk and a single. K-Rod pitching in trouble here in the 7th.
K-Rod's had such good command of his fastball, but in this inning, walking right and then giving Davis a fastball down the middle. He's been on the corners, keeping it down. He's been throwing his changeup for strikes and keeping that down in the strike zone.
Lucas Duda will bat with 2 on. Has the power to make this a 1-run game quickly. And with 2 hits tonight. Duda had a 2-out RBI single in the first inning. And then he doubled in the 5th off Kinsler. Only hit Kinsler gave up in his inning. Markham started. He went 4, gave up 4 earned runs. Kinsler worked a scoreless 5th. Veras a 1-2-3 6th. And now K-Rod as Duda takes a big cut.
And he was right on that one, just a little bit underneath. Duda's shown the ability to handle the ball down on him pretty good. And his 2 hits have come on pitches down in the strike zone.
Drove in a run yesterday on a low pitch. Two and 1. 2 on, 1 away. Brewers are looking for a double play here. And Duda lifts one in the air to center field. Playable for Gomez. And tagging and advancing to third base is Wright. There is out number 2, though. Lucas Duda just missed that one. 2 gone with 2 on. First and third now for the Mets. For Jordani Valdespin.
K-Rod able to get in on the hands just enough to keep it in the ballpark, but Duda big and strong. And took Gomez all the way back almost to the warning track. He is a strong young man. Lucas Duda.
Two gone for Valdespin. 1 for 3 tonight. And K-Rod misses low. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. And then the Brewers have just one more homestand remaining. The Astros and the Padres to wrap up the season. A 10-game road trip in between. Little half swing. Did he go? No, he didn't. He checks his swing, says Larry Vanover. The Brewers will have Monday off, and then they start a series in Pittsburgh Tuesday night. 3 games in Pittsburgh. By the way, Ron Renneke has rearranged his starting rotation. He'll have Gallardo pitch the opener, then Estrada, and then Mike Fiers. Keeping Gallardo on his regular turn. Actually, there'll be 2 off days for Gallardo in between the starts. So yeah. Gallardo gets the opener on Tuesday night as opposed to Estrada.
Yeah, he likes to stay as close to his 5 days as he can. Keep him on his regular turn, move everybody else around as best you can.
2 balls and a strike. And that one is in there. Strike 2.
Back-to-back changeups by Francisco Rodriguez after falling behind 2-0. Pulling the string on the changeup, and a pretty good changeup to hit, though, up in the zone.
First and third for the Mets. K-Rod trying to get through this 7th. And a 2-2. And he popped him up. That will stay playable. Lucroy and Ishikawa. Ishikawa makes a catch. Inning over. The Mets strand a pair. Still 8-4 Milwaukee. Stretch time at Miller Park.
Here 8-4, and time now to hear from you, the fans, on the pulse of social media. It's September baseball, and we're talking playoffs here. Hard to believe that a month ago the Brewers were 12 games out, and today they sit just 3.5 games back. So we asked fans, in the playoff standings, would you rather be the leader or the chaser like the Brewers are this season? Chris said, if you're in front, you control your own destiny. That is where I'd want to be. Colin tweeted us saying, without a doubt, chasing. Baseball is a game of momentum. Also, when you're chasing, there is not much pressure. Liz said, it's better to be chasing like the Brewers. You have everything to win and nothing to lose. That's certainly how the guys feel in the clubhouse. But BA and Rock, there's something else that fans are keeping an eye on Twitter. They have not forgotten, BA, that you said you would shave your head if the crew made it to within one game of the wild card. So are you getting any nervous yet?
No, not nervous at all. As a matter of fact, I didn't bring that up, by the way. That was a Bill Schroeder special. That was, a discussion based on Marty Brenneman. So I appreciate you bringing that up, calling everybody's attention to it, Sophia.
Where do you think she got that idea?
I'm not against shaving my head. I've done it plenty of times.
Have you? You almost went pro at it.
I think the current hairdo, as it stands right now, has a lot to do with the winning streak. So I don't want to take it off just yet.
No, that's what it is. Marty Brennan's a stand-up guy. He said it. He did it.
Right.
That doesn't mean you have to do that.
As will I. That's on my own terms.
Nobody's forcing you.
I just got a little tightening up, as a matter of fact. I sure did. Robert Carson is the next Mets pitcher. Now, that was a conversation Rock and I had. He kind of baited me into it. It's not like I brought it up. Rock said,
I actually said,
you'd shave your head,
no,
would you?
No.
I go, sure.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't say I said 500 if they got to 500.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go in there because I believed that they could get back to 500.
Right, and then you were the one that added if they get to within one game of the wild card.
Right.
I didn't make you do that. You could have said no right then and would have been the end of it.
That's what you did. You said no. I felt like somebody needed to
step it up.
Step up. So that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, I like to, tighten it up for the wintertime. For the ski cap. I don't have a lot going on anyway. I mean, it's pretty short. Carrie Waking, she tightened me up the other day.
Yeah, looks good. Really does.
She's got the clippers ready to go.
Yeah.
Along about the on-deck event. As Segura draws the walk. A lot of walks in this game. A lot of base runners for the Brewers. They have 11 hits in this game. Mejia walked 5. And now a walk by Carson. Well, Bernie, he's ready to slide again. He took a slide on the Ricky Weeks home run. That gave the Brewers the lead. They have not looked back. That was part of a 5-run 4th inning. Here's Ishikawa. Runner goes. Segura. The throw is into center field. And Segura on his way to third base. A stolen base and an error, and the Brewers keep the pressure on the Mets.
Young man's been impressive, that's for sure. And Segura has handled the pressure of playing meaningful games this month and has done a bang-up job, not just defensively, but he has been very active on the bases. He's shown a good eye at the plate and has come up with some big hits. And able to get into third base on the throwing error by Shopik.
So number 5 for Segura. Now he's at third. Ishikawa in the air. Shallow center. That's got a chance to fall as Torres makes a diving catch. And Segura cannot advance. Boy, he had a long way to go for that ball. He was playing Ishikawa deep. So the first out. 1 gone, and Segura is still at third base. Our text question tonight, courtesy of Ho Chunk Gaming. Do the Brewers have a good balance of power and speed for this season and beyond, Jeff and Cedarburg? I think that's the strength of the team. That's what you hear from opposing managers. Clint Hurdle brought it up. Terry Collins earlier today. I mean, when they start to game plan against Milwaukee, that's what you hear from these guys.
The aggressive base running, not just stolen bases, putting the pressure on the defense. Brewers first in the league in home runs, third in stolen bases. So not a one-dimensional offense.
Renicky barking at Jerry Lane. That was called a strike. Managers, hitters, they're always asking the home plate umpire, just ask for help on that. I'd say Jerry Lane's one of the more patient umpires, wouldn't you? He's kind of got a laid-back style.
He can get his dander up. I remember a series a few years ago in Atlanta where the Brewers had a rough time with him.
How was the Ned Yost Jerry Lane confrontation? Oh, that was great. As Aoki strikes out, Segura still at third base, and now 2 gone.
Since you mentioned it,
I do remember that. Going to have a pitching change here. With 2 outs and a runner at third, Terry Collins will take the ball from Carson's hand. And going back to the bullpen, Elvin Ramirez coming in next. We'll take a timeout. Eight to 4, the Brewers have the lead. Nice comeback tonight for Milwaukee and trying to take it the rest of the way. They got a chance to add to their lead here. Runner at third base with 2 outs now. And a pitching change for the Mets. It'll be Elvin Ramirez next out of the bullpen.
Yeah, 14th appearance. The earned run average of about 6.5. Ramirez here with the Mets for the 3rd time this year. Up and down just about the entire season. 33 appearances in AAA, went 3-1 and a .236 earned run average. And had some pretty good numbers. Looking to get it out here in the bottom of the 7th inning here in Milwaukee.
He's the 5th reliever used by Terry Collins. Segura started the inning with a walk. He stole second and made it to third on an error. He was there with nobody out. Ishikawa popped up. Aoki struck out, and Segura still stands there with 2 away. Now Ricky Weeks. Weeks hit a booming home run in the 4th. Number 20 of the season. Now 58 runs batted in for Ricky Weeks. He's 1 for 3. He scored twice. He also walked in this game. It's actually the 6th reliever used by the Mets. I beg your pardon.
They have 4 right-handers and 2 lefties.
They missed one along the way.
Yeah, and there's plenty left.
The 7th pitcher tonight for the Mets.
Well, they've only got 6 left down there.
A win tonight coupled with a Cardinal loss, the Brewers will be just 2 back in the loss column, 2.5 overall in the wild card race. Brewers have 4 teams ahead of them right now for that second wild card spot. That could change tonight. The Phillies lost tonight. They got shut out by the Astros. 5-0 the final score. Houston wins it. Dallas Keuchel, the lefty.
The Astros avoiding their 100th loss tonight.
How about Houston? They've taken 2 out of 3 so far from the Phillies, with 1 to play tomorrow. So the Phillies go to 73 and 73. Played 1 more game than the Brewers. Milwaukee can leapfrog the Phillies with a victory tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 8-4 Milwaukee. And Weeks fouls it back. The Marlins beat the Reds tonight. Cincinnati's magic number still at, well, it's at 7 tonight.
Right.
And they lost 6-4 to the Marlins. Burley beat Cueto tonight. Cueto drops to 17-9. He's making a run at a Cy Young Award. But the magic number will stay at 7 for the time being. Two and 2. Count stays at 2-2.
That's a nice easy fastball that Ramirez is throwing up there tonight. Nice easy delivery coming out of his hands, about 95 miles an hour.
Easy cheese.
Yeah. Just gets on you quickly.
We'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch. Segura ready to run at third base. And Weeks rips one center field and off the glove of Torres. Segura will score. Weeks into second base. On a missile to center field by Ricky Weeks. Torres tried to lay out for it in front of him. It went off the heel of his glove.
Kind of overran it, didn't he? Seemed like he thought he was going to have to dive. That ball just kept rising as it got out to him. It just finished so well off the bat of Weeks. Now watch it. I think Torres thinks he's going to catch this ball a little bit lower than it actually is. And it goes off the heel of his glove. That's exactly what happened. That ball, a frozen rope out there. And Torres actually went a little bit too far. And Ricky Weeks will probably be credited with a double.
Well, you know you've hit it hard when the pitcher ducks and the center fielder has a chance to make a play on it. Watch Ramirez. Well, he scalded that ball, did Weeks?
Yes, he did.
An RBI double. That's a tough play for a center fielder coming in. Second hit for Weeks. Here is Ryan Braun now. He drove in a run back in the first inning, and he chops one over the short. And that is that for the Brewers in the 7th. They add to their lead. 9-4 Milwaukee as we go to the 8th.
8th inning. We've got a long one here at the old ballpark. Let's check out our Miller Lite What's on Tap tomorrow against the Mets at 12:30 for Brewers Live. Remember, Aramis Ramirez bobblehead day. Good tickets still available for tomorrow's game. Off day on Monday, and the Brewers start a 10-game road trip in Pittsburgh on Tuesday and Wednesday. Both 5:30 Central starts for Brewers Live pregame.
I'll tell you, the way Willie Peralta's going, you don't want to put pressure on him, but he's kind of must-see pitching for the Brewers with his great stuff. Electric fastball, and he's done a nice job in his first 2 games, his first 2 starts. We head to the 8th inning from Miller Park. A crowd of over 38,000 here tonight, and it's going to be Jim Henderson.
Henderson's been throwing well. We're talking about this entire bullpen has been putting up zeros on a consistent basis. The Brewers bullpen has not allowed a run through 3 innings here tonight. 26th appearance for Henderson, a .392 earned run average. Henderson last appeared in the ball game on Tuesday, faced only 1 batter, retired him. Has a .77 earned run average at Miller Park, allowing 1 run in just short of 12 innings of work.
Henderson now the setup man for the Brewers. He and K-Rod interchange that role. Renicky said he'll certainly use Henderson in the 8th inning on most nights at this point. Henderson was the closer in AAA this year. Had 15 saves in Nashville. Got his first chance in the big leagues, and he's made the most of it. These are the kind of innings you'd like to see him pitch. Shopik into center field. Gomez is right there. 1 gone for Henderson in the 8th. After Monday's off day, the Brewers will have 16 in a row to finish the season. That 3-city road trip: Pittsburgh, Washington, and Cincinnati, and then home against the Astros and the Padres to finish the regular season, and hoping their season continues.
Whether they get into the postseason as a wild card or not, it certainly has been a nice finish for the Brewers so far in the month of September, late August. Playing about as well as anybody in baseball.
Now the Brewers have really dominated here at Miller Park. They've won 17 of their last 20 home games. Swing and a miss. Henderson, 97-mile-an-hour fastball, strikes out Torres. The benefit of a few off days, huh?
Everybody could use off days, and certainly a guy that throws hard, and no chance up there. Andres Torres is strikeout victim of a high fastball.
Two quick outs for Henderson. It'll be Mike Baxter pinch hitting for the Mets. 9-4 Brewers. This game was 4-1 Mets after 3.5 innings. Mets scored 3 runs in the 4th inning. After they scored 7 runs last night in a 7-3 victory. They were right back at it offensively here tonight against Sean Markham, but the bullpen has been stingy for the Brewers tonight. Starting with Brandon Kinsler, then Veras, Frankie Rodriguez, and now Henderson. Only 2 hits and a walk thus far from the relievers tonight.
If you get a chance, you might see John Axford. He hasn't pitched since Monday. That's a long layoff for your closer, almost a week. K-Rod, Henderson, who's throwing well, and I would imagine you're going to see Axe tonight.
And if you use Axford tomorrow in a save situation, he pitches in back-to-back games. You have another off day Monday.
Right.
He looks pretty stressed out. I bet Henderson and Axford can share a lot of stories. A couple of guys that have overcome a lot to make it to the big leagues. As Henderson walks Baxter. A 2-out walk issued here in the 8th. Surgeries getting released. But you never know sometimes, and give a lot of credit to the Brewers scouts and player development. They saw something in Henderson. He accepted an assignment to Single A at 26 after he had been at Triple A for a couple of years already after his surgery. Went to Appleton, went to Wisconsin with the Timber Rattlers, and started to plow his way up through the system, and finally gets rewarded after 10 years in the minor leagues.
Yep, and you still have that dream, and that you have that burn in your stomach to want to continue to compete and pitch, and that's the ultimate goal. The brass ring is to get your name in the baseball encyclopedia.
That's it.
Played in the big leagues.
He'll be one of the many Hendersons. Being there with Dave and Ricky. Quickly 0-2 on Ruben Tejada. Henderson deals, and a foul out of play. Count stays at 0-2. Jim's a Canadian. He's from Calgary, Alberta. Had a big rodeo up there in Calgary, one of the biggest in the world.
Calgary Stampede. Yep.
Oh-2 pitch in the air to center field. Gomez tracking it. And that's the inning. Henderson puts up a 0. Well, the bullpen's been outstanding tonight. 4 scoreless from the Brewer pen.
Jump around here at Miller Park as well. 9-4 Brewers. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. And you go back and look at a couple of key pinch hitters, Schaefer and Ishikawa, in consecutive innings, consecutive triples for runs.
Boy, you're talking about Ron Renicky pulling the trigger at the right moves as Logan Schaefer just hits a nice little triple down the line with his speed to drive in 2 runs, and then ends up scoring the tying run on a wild pitch. And then Travis Ishikawa, boy, a job he's done since he's been in the lineup. But Harry didn't start the game. Big pinch hit, drove in a run on his triple.
All right, we'll continue to break this game down on Brewers Live. Post-game, get you up to date on the wild card standings. What's going on out in L.A. as well between the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Brian?
All right, thank you, Craig and Davey. Looking forward to Brewers Live coming up. Jeurys Familia is the new pitcher for the Mets. Hard thrower, one of their big prospects out of their minor league system.
Hey, he was a starter down in the minor leagues in AAA. 28 starts, went 9-9 with a .473 earned run average. Had 128 strikeouts in 137 innings down in the minor leagues.
By the way, the Cardinals and the Dodgers are tied at 2. That game's in the 6th inning. Cardinals are batting in the 6th. And a note on the triples that Craig and Davey showed you. The last team with 2 pinch hit triples, the Cincinnati Reds in 1996. April 30th of 96. Vince Coleman and Lenny Harris. I had forgotten that Vince Coleman played for the Reds.
Right.
The former Cardinal great. So the last team with 2 pinch hit triples. It's even more rare to have 2 pinch hit triples that both produce runs, and we're still trying to dig that one up to find out the last time that has happened.
No surprise, Lenny Harris. He was one of the best pinch hitters of all time.
Yes, he was.
And Vince Coleman, how many guys faster than him?
Vince Coleman's been in the news a lot this year. His stolen base record was broken this season. I'm trying to remember the number. I'm going to have to dig that up. 143, I think it was. Maybe 49. Ramirez fouls it back. Now Billy Hamilton, the Reds minor league shortstop from AA and AAA, broke Vince Coleman's stolen base record. I kind of thought the Reds might bring Hamilton up, use him as a pinch runner. An infielder. As Ramirez strikes out, Familia picks up his first K and 1 away. So here is Lucroy. 1 for 4 tonight. The Brewers have 9 runs on 12 hits. But the big inning was a 5-run 4th. We saw those 2 pinch hit triples. Logan Schaefer had the first pinch hit triple. That drove in 2 runs. And brought the Brewers within a run. Schaefer scored on a wild pitch to tie it. And then Ricky Weeks, a 2-run home run to give Milwaukee the lead. They have not given it up since. Lucroy flies to right, out number 2. Weeks has had the big night tonight. 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Scored twice, on base 3 times. Well, you love to see winning baseball where you're getting a lot of production from a lot of different players. Renicky has used his bench extensively tonight.
Oh, yeah, Ricky's had 3 home runs on this homestand.
And now 20 for the year. Big cut by Gomez. Gomez is going through a slump at the plate right now. Renicky trying to get him back to his hitting ways. He was on a hot streak just a few weeks ago. He's chasing a lot now.
It comes and goes. You jump at the baseball, you don't see it well, and start swinging at pitches out of the zone. That's what's going on with Gomez right now. That's why he had Nigel Morgan in the lineup, did Renicky. Give Gomez an opportunity. Morgan produced.
Little tapper to the mound. Familia will make the play, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning. To the ninth we go. Last call for the Mets. 9-4 Brewers. Been a fun night at the ballpark for Brewers fans here. 38,000 strong. 9-4 the score as we head to the ninth inning. Final game of the series tomorrow. Willie Peralta is on the mound tomorrow. Hope you'll join us here at Miller Park. Packers are off this weekend after a Thursday night win, so might as well come out and join us here tomorrow afternoon. You see the Axeman, John Axford, with 28 saves this year. This is not a save situation, just an opportunity to get some work. And the Brewers are glad to have him out there to try to finish this one off in the ninth.
They picked up a save on Monday against the Atlanta Braves, his 28th of the year. A scoreless inning, has not given up a run in each of his last 9 appearances. That covers 8 1/3 innings for John Axford. He's been throwing well.
He will face Daniel Murphy to start this inning. Murphy, Wright, and Davis going right through the middle of this Mets batting order as he deals strike one. Murphy has 3 hits tonight. Had an RBI double in the 4th. And was the last run the Mets scored. At the time, Murphy's double made it 4-1 New York. Things were looking a little bleak. But the Brewers just unloading. They scored 5 runs in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, added 1 in the 7th. Murphy lines it right to Ramirez. Out number 1.
Not a bad hitter, is he? Taking that curveball from John Axford and slicing it, but right at Ramirez. And Ax able to throw that curveball for strikes. That's always a good sign.
Here's David Wright. Strike 1 to Wright. Now, what a job by the Brewers bullpen tonight. Markham struggled again, went just 4 innings this evening. Gave up 4 earned runs. He left, it was 4-1 Mets. Matter of fact, Logan Schaefer pinch hit for Markham and drove in the 2 runs with the triple in the 4th. The first of 2 pinch hit triples tonight for the Brewers. But the bullpen has shut the Mets down, starting with Brandon Kinsler, Jose Veras, Jim Henderson, and now Axford. K-Rod in there as well, I beg your pardon, in the 7th. So 5 pitchers across 5 innings. Axford trying to finish it off with 5 shutout to finish this game. That one did miss by much. And Wright draws the walk. So a base runner with 1 away. A win tonight. The Brewers go back over 500. They were over 500 briefly early in the schedule. They were 4-3, and then not until the other night, after they won Wednesday against Atlanta, did they go back over 500. It's a completely different looking team right now than what we saw for most of the summer. That ball smoked. Ike Davis sends that one deep center field and out of here. A 2-run homer. Number 27 for Ike Davis, and he knew it as soon as he hit it.
Yep, right down the middle of the fastball. The first time that Axford's given up a run in a while, and coming right after a walk. There it is, middle in, down in the zone, and Davis, as soon as he finished his swing, he knew that was out. And out of here by plenty in center field.
He has some kind of pop in his bat. 27th homer gives him 81 runs batted in. That ties him with David Wright for the club high. So now it's a 3-run game. Axford facing Lucas Duda. And a curveball missed low. 2-0. Reno. Crowd getting a little anxious. They've seen a rough year from the bullpen. Axford has had his troubles this year, but lately looks like he's getting back to his old form. His 10 straight saves, John Axford. The Mets get a quick 2 on a home run from Davis just a moment ago. There's a strike. Full count. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, both pitches right down the middle.
The payoff pitch. And down he goes. Duda strikes out as Jerry Lane rings him up.
Yep. He's trying to take a walk. Takes 3 fastballs. And the last one just at the knees.
Two gone. Jerry Lane didn't get all worked up about it, but he still punched him out. Valdespin takes a ball.
He's got a little bit of a delayed reaction on his physical call for strikes, doesn't he? He hasn't messed you up at all.
No, he barks it loud, which we appreciate. As long as you have a good audio, man. There's a strike. And we do.
The best. The best.
Big night for Weeks. Looking for Axford to finish this one off right here and now. The 1-1 inside, ball 2. Willie Peralta and Chris Young tomorrow to wrap up the homestand. And a chance to go 5-1 on the homestand with one more out here tonight. To your right. 2-2. Full count to Valdespin. Got him. That's the ball game. The Brewers win again. 4-1 on the homestand. Big night for Ricky Weeks. His home run gave the Brewers the lead. They never looked back. And now the Brewers within 3. The Cardinals and the Dodgers still underway. They're tied at 2 in the 6th inning. And you see the Brewers just 3 games back in the loss column. Could go to 2 with a Dodger win. Still in it, folks. 17 to play. 3 games back. Much more still to come here as we check in with Craig Kashawn. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
We've got a good show stacked up. We're going to take a further look into that wild card race. Also break down this game. How about some big innings on this Brewer homestand in their wins? We'll tell you all about it and hear from the Brewers when we come back to Brewers Live.